In the middle of the night, or early Friday morning, depending upon where you are in the world, a group of experienced comics professionals get together to examine and instruct about the art form that they love. That's great comic artwork on Comics by Night, Fridays at 5 a.m. Eastern, here on the Indie Comics Network, indiecomicsnetwork.com.
What was that? This is not a charade.
What a crowd, what a crowd. Welcome everyone this morning. What a great day it is.
Good morning, everybody.
Pardon me.
Morning.
Man, as soon as I get talking, I get coughing. It's crazy. We've got a great panel today for you. Folks, it's going to be a great show. We've got two amazing creators that have both adopted Fun My Comic early on today. Pardon me. We've got Hojo, the wielder of the mojo. And we've got Buzz. You might almost say the Buzz Aldridge of Fun My Comic. He was one of the very first ones to post the campaign up there. Edwin Aces Acevedo. I said that right, didn't I?
Yep, you said it right.
Sweet. Nailed it. Yeah, it's going to be a good morning. This morning, I woke up to a leaking sink.
I don't like plumbing.
I don't.
Gremlins?
Yeah, man. It's you know how it is. You wake up and like the day starts off like it's not going to go right. You just know it.
Yep.
So yeah. So the little lady is sick. She's not feeling good, so she didn't go to work today. So she's in there convalescing, trying to get better. And I'm like, I don't want to get that, so I'm trying to keep my distance. That is. But so Halloween was just a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you guys have a good Halloween?
I had a great Halloween.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Lots of alcohol.
Lots of alcohol.
Mm.
I didn't have any alcohol. Edwin, how about you? Have a good Halloween?
Yeah, it was all right. I actually had jury duty on Halloween, so that was fun.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Nothing like waking up super early in the morning being there for 3 hours, then telling you, all right, you can go. Oh,
Yeah.
thanks for ruining my entire day. You
I know, right?
Yeah, because now I'm up. I had the day off
Yeah.
for this. No one want to do. I'm tired.
but
so
I mean, I was
figured
hoping
come
to
on.
at least dispense some justice, find somebody guilty. Nothing. Just whole ruined
Lock
day.
him up. Yeah, that's how I'd like to do it. I'm a big fan of a lock him up chant. That was my favorite part of the whole Hillary thing. Lock her up. Yes. Straight to jail. I'm always about this straight to jail. I don't know why. That's how I am. So we gave out comic books instead of candy for Halloween. Gave around 200 comic books away.
Nice.
Kids, yeah.
Cool.
Some good marketing
awesome.
strategy there.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
these kids were excited as could be about getting these comic books. The popular book was HeroBot #1.
Awesome.
The
Good
kids
to know.
loved that book. They were all about it. They're like, "Oh, this looks so cool." And one kid was like, "What's this book about?" And I go, "It's a 3-foot tall giant robot that fights kaijus in a city." And he goes, "Well, how is he giant if I'm taller than him?" I said, "Size doesn't make you a giant. Sometimes it's personality."
There you go.
I said, "You of all people should know that, little man." His parents laughed at that. He had no idea what I was talking about.
He'll get it
Sarcasm
in a couple
is
years.
lost on children.
Philosophy wasted on the youth.
Yeah.
Wasted on the use. He wound up taking it anyway because he wanted to find out how he was a giant robot.
I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter yesterday. They're like, there were no trick or treaters. Nobody was participating. This is lame. Did you have that problem? I was like, no. There were over 100 kids in my neighborhood.
So were you giving
Easily.
out beer to the parents?
Yeah,
I figured you would.
yeah.
I figured you would.
This is one of those things because like we moved to this neighborhood, so it's a great neighborhood. It's huge. Like it's awesome.
There you
Well,
go.
like it should be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But every year that we've lived here, that there's been like either a sickness or it was snowing or it was raining real bad or COVID, we couldn't do it. So this year it was like low 50s. It was okay, but it was madness. There's so many good costumes because our neighbors, they had a trailer and they were pulling like an easy 25 kids around the
There you
neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Very
playing
cool.
Thriller and like Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack, blaring it through the speakers. There were people at the end of their driveways with fire pits handing out s'mores to the kids, and
Yeah, man.
it
That's
was
awesome.
just like it was community, man. It felt right.
Yeah, that's
That's
what it's
awesome.
like in this small town, man. And I think that's what we didn't get that in Jacksonville. We kind of did in the little cul-de-sac that we lived in, or the circle that we lived in. But on the whole, like this town's got like 17,000, maybe 12,000 people in it, and it's very community based, and I like it. It's a good feeling to kind of get back to that where you know your neighbors.
Yeah,
Like, I went to the store last night to pick up some stuff to make tacos, and somebody I know was like, "Hey, Luke, how's it going? Are you coming to open mic at the coffee house tonight?" I'm like, "No, sorry, I got an interview tonight. Can't do it." I'm like, "Oh, hey, I'm not gonna be able to see you there." It's like it's nice to kind of
Mm-hmm.
have that because you don't, it's we work in an industry that is. Okay, so I was explaining last night. So I did an interview with RJ last night
I saw that.
with Joe Spicer, which I'm going to talk about this book a little bit this morning, but not much, but just a little bit because we're in sign up right now for this team up book that I'm doing with Joe.
Mhm.
Now, Joe found me, and the reason why I'm still doing comics is because of his encouragement and kind of him, almost saying, "Look, I'll publish your book. You don't have to do anything. Just draw it, and I'll take care of everything," is what he said. And I ran into him on the heels of like starting my first publishing company and running into my first grifter, not realizing that the majority of the people you're going to run into in independent comics are actually there to exploit and grift. So I was like, whoa, if this is what this is, I'm out. Right. Well, he talked me into staying in because the thing about Joe is he's never once tried to take advantage of anybody that I've been able to see. He's got a great reputation with everybody. Everybody loves the guy. He's never done like he's completely selfless in his whole publishing model. Like he's allowed for a publishing model that that will, at times, maybe even keep his own work from being produced faster or promoted better, right?
Yeah.
And he just has been proof that there are good people in the comic book industry. So much proof that it's worth trying to sift through the bad ones to find the good ones. So, and boy, have I sifted through some bad ones. So, but yeah, so so we did that with him. So that's kind of the idea of this, where I was talking about that. We have this, they call it a community, but it's not a community. It can be real cutthroat and real backstabby and petty and all that kind of stuff. But it's nice to try to weed. There are some good people that it's good to work through all of the other ones just to find the good ones. I think
There's a lot of good people.
a lot. Maybe a lot. I don't know.
There's a bunch on the panel right now.
Well, on this panel, this is a very tightly curated list. I'll be honest with you, it really is. We've had some people on the panel before that didn't cut the mustard. Funny, we have cut the mustard and we have cut the cheese, and they mean two different things. Anyway, community is great. Whiskey, drank a lot of alcohol this weekend.
Yep.
So, well, not this weekend. That was Tuesday.
Well, yeah.
Tuesday, Halloween Tuesday. Welcome, Schism, to the chat. We've got Schism. Hail to all. May your day be forever sunny and filled with joy. I love that sentiment. Very good. We got Ronan's Reviews in the house. Welcome. There's Edwin in the chat and on the panel. I sent my link out to the guest this week very late. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, if it's panelists that have been on before, I'm like, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. I don't care. I just ate another donut.
Yeah. I tried to pull a Bancroft. Like, he doesn't send the link until like 10 minutes after the show
Yeah,
starts.
and I forgot that. He was like, whoa, you don't know how we do things. I'm like, no, I forgot because I've been on like 87 streams since I launched on your program.
Oh, where did Edwin go? We lost him.
Ran.
Out of here.
I didn't do it.
Well,
He was kidnapped by the gremlins.
we've got him
He'll be
on
back.
in the chat.
Come on
We'll have
back.
him back on the panel soon. He's got a new book. Frederick Guamont is in the house. I got my bacon, and I'm ready to go. Hail the chat. Hail the chat. Oh, I'm here on time, I think. Coffee flowed. Days have been lately. Yes, I understand. Moving forward, it is that way. You know, we got two topics today. We got two
He's having a
topics.
Rough time with the system. There you are, Edwin.
Yeah. We got two topics today. We got let's do the time warp, which is in reference to Rocky Horror Picture Show, which we allowed my son to see that for the first time this year.
Wow.
I said, okay, there's certain scenes you're gonna have to close your eyes for, and there's certain things I'm just gonna have to scream over because
How's your son? How old is your son?
14, turned 14 this year. It's like PG-13, I think.
Does he go to public school?
No, he's homeschooled,
Well, there you go.
but he's smart.
If he went to public school, I'd say nothing
like-
he hasn't already seen.
Yeah, he was like, man, I saw this in kindergarten.
No, I mean he's a smart kid. He's not like a weird homeschooler.
Ah.
He's like a normal kid. He just homeschools because he learns. He's really smart, and if you were doing like that cookie cutter model, like he'd be failing. He'd be bored. He'd be in trouble. Is what he'd be doing because he would get the work done too fast.
Yeah. That's
So,
my problem in school.
Yeah, mine too. So
Yep.
It's all very non-challenging stuff.
yeah,
I
so
ended up
mine's
going to a
like-
trade school my junior and senior year to learn commercial art in order to break it up.
Yeah.
So,
He'll wake up when he's ready. Normally 9 or 10, sometimes later, depending on how the night before went with him. You know, we let him make some of his own decisions. You know, he has chores and things he has to do.
Mhm.
As long as he gets his work done. So he'll get his homework done, and then he will. Then he's allowed to do whatever he wants, and he's pretty good with time management. I am not. Which that's the other part. So our first talk is about the time warp. We're going to talk about how we deal with time management. What a segue. And then our second topic is swing, bada, bada, swing. We're going to talk about that pitch. Talk about how you pitch that comic book because Man, there's a lot of us on the panel that are doing that this week.
You know, I don't think you did a long time ago, or not a long time ago, but your pitch guide.
Huh?
I actually never got that email.
I'll be sharing that out today for everybody.
Awesome.
So we'll get that.
Because I suck at pitches.
All right. We got John A. Douglas in the house. Welcome, my friend. Well, let me try that again. John Douglas is in the house. Welcome, my friend. We got Whiskey on the panel and in the chat. We've got the one and only Russ Leach, comic book black belt. It's in the house. Dreaded Dinosaur. Eric Hodgman is here, the artist for the amazing AR-13L.
It's on the road. You going to Grand Rapids, Eric? Yeah, have a safe trip. Wherever you're going, have a safe trip.
We got Timmy Mello in the house. Happy Thursday. Welcome. Tim's campaign just wrapped. In fact, I believe it just finalized. So he should be getting his funds real soon to get out Melvin number 3. Grey Wolf Graphics is in the house. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you here. And Timmy's like, straight to jail. Bristolian and Dave. All right. Me Babbers. Welcome. Bristolian and Dave. And we got Grey Wolf Graphics. I said that already. Hello, everybody. It's good to have you here. Please feel free to talk to us in the chat. Talk about those things we've got going on today. We are going to be talking about some news articles this morning. And then we're going to get into, we don't have a lot of news because we want to talk comics. We want to talk comics and what's going on in the comic book world, the comic book industry here in the indie sphere. Some good things are happening, but we do have some things we need to talk about here in our industry as a whole. Check this out. Steve Irwin passed away.
Damn.
Steve Irwin passed away.
Artist Steve Irwin. The other Steve Irwin has been gone for a few years.
Yeah, not that Steve Irwin.
Not that Steve Irwin.
Not Crikey. Not Crikey. Steve Irwin, but the other one.
That's a book that Glenn used to print. Crikey.
Is it?
Yeah.
Artist Steve Irwin, who is best known for his work at DC Comics in the 1980s and 90s, died on October 25th, 2023. He was born in 1960. He was not very old, guys. What, 83?
Not at all. Not very. 83. Listen to you. 63.
63.
Yeah,
63.
what?
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry, bad.
Trying to make us all old.
I forget bad math, guys.
Irwin
Sorry.
was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 60 and studied commercial art at Oklahoma State University Tech and Okmulgee, of course.
Okmulgee.
His first published work was an 8-page backup story in Grimjack number 18, one of my wife's favorite books, by the way. One of a series of backups in Munden's Bar. The story was written by John Ostrander with Irwin doing the pencils and inks. 2 more stories followed, and then Irwin took over as artist for Shatter, a dystopian sci-fi series created in 85 by Peter B. Gillis and Mike Sens. That was actually the first computer-generated comic.
Yeah.
Shatter.
They do the art using a Macintosh Plus computer.
There you are.
Shatter, one of the first comics to be produced digitally.
1 pixel at a time.
1 pixel at a time. Yeah, the technology was not as good as it is today, guys.
And you know what? Back then they said, drawing comics are over. It's all going to be done like this from now on. Anyway, they did.
That did not age well.
Shades of AI.
It didn't.
Yeah.
I saw a billboard on the sign of a unfinished building said, "Hey, Chat GPT, why don't you finish this?"
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. If you guys watch South Park joining the Pandaverse, then the sub story to that was how nobody can do anything anymore.
Too true.
And how AI was taking over a lot of these specialty jobs like counseling and things like that. And but it turns
if you
out,
haven't watched it, you need to find it. You need to watch
yeah, really do. It's on Paramount Plus.
It'll be on Comedy Central shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because the numbers on that have been absolutely huge.
It might be unironically the movie event of the year.
It'll probably be the TV event of the year for sure. Yeah.
It is. It was, man, they did not hold any, they did not hold back and they did not.
And they
pull any
shouldn't.
punches.
No, they shouldn't. No. The whole B story was Randy was having a hard time getting the oven door fixed at his
Yeah.
married.
And his wife kept asking, like, Sharon, I am on it right effing now.
I'm working on it. He says
Oh,
he'd be
don't even.
shaking the phone at her. He pulls his kids into the kitchen and says, "We're going to have to do this ourselves, and I'm here to teach you how to do it. First, you grab your phone, then you call a
Google
handyman."
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to do anything, right?
And the handyman couldn't fit him in on the schedule, even if he tried to slide him something under the table. The handyman said, "Well, so and so down the street just offered me $100 to do this."
Yeah, then it's
Oh.
10,000, 20,000. And then the handymen pretty much turn into Bezos and
Yeah, as the
Musk.
story goes along, the
Yeah,
handyman gets richer and
Oh.
richer every time they see him.
because those were the only two people that know how to do anything.
They're the only ones making hard money. They go to Home Depot to try to find a worker, and Randy goes to Home Depot, and all the rest of the dads are there looking for workers to help them out on their stuff. And then the handymen come driving up, asking them if they can handle a handsaw. Can you handle a handsaw? Because I got work you can handle. Oh, you don't know how to do nothing. Oh, well, and he's
And
brand
they
new
said-
truck.
Then a migrant worker comes by in his big old truck, nice, all tricked out, and says, "Man, you guys need to move on. You're making Home Depot look trashy."
Yeah,
Oh, it's so funny, man. I don't want to
got a
ruin
lot
it
of
anymore.
great.
I don't want to ruin it anymore for you. It's just too funny. It was. I watched it twice. It was I don't have much time to watch TV, so I only watch things that are worth watching, and that one was worth watching twice.
I mean, the trailer alone sold me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty
doesn't
funny.
make any sense. Well, if it doesn't make any sense to you, you're probably the problem. Yeah, I'm the problem, guys.
Mhm.
Another loss we had, 50 years old, passed away,
Mm.
is the creator of shoujo manga, Hanakimi, dead of heart disease at age 50.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, get out there and take care of yourselves, man.
Hanakimi. Early
You guys-
Soto manga. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. His Saya Nakaho. You guys got to take care of yourselves. They work them hard over there in the manga industry. They work them real hard.
Heart disease on both of them. Look at that. Irwin passed
Heart
a heart
disease, yeah.
failure too, yeah?
Well, we sit in a chair all day, and we're under a lot of stress to hit deadlines.
Yeah.
And if when bills come up, you can't ask for more money. You have to just take on more work. It's crazy. Guys, take care of yourselves. We mourn the loss of two great creators today.
Get up and walk around at least every 15 to 20 minutes.
Yes,
Go across
sir.
the room. I mean, luckily with my
Producer.
day job, I'm there like 10 hours a day, but I sit at a desk and fix things, but I literally have to get up at least every 30 minutes.
Got to keep a timer.
Yeah,
You go out, you buy a timer, and you set it, and you get up when it rings. That's
It's
what you
on
got
my
to do.
watch. Yep.
Yep.
Hello, Luke. Some guy was picking up migrants at Home Depot a few years ago, telling them he needed workers. He drove up to the INS office, and they bailed out of the truck and ran off. I don't know if that's. I'm not really laughing at that one too much.
It's a
Yeah,
little cruel,
that's
but
it's a little cruel. Yeah,
At least
I
they
know
were
what I
there looking for work, so that's the whole thing.
yeah.
Launching with vintage terror title Her Frankenstein. New imprint Smudge. At least this one's got vowels on it.
Yep.
To focus on pulp horror and mystery manga. Or manga.
Manga.
Manga. Tomato. Boutique
Smudge isn't the
publisher
greatest name.
Living the Line is launching a new manga imprint, Smudge. It sounds degrading.
I don't like
It
it.
does. It's a boutique publisher, Living the Line, who I've never heard of.
Yeah. That'll be curated and translated by Eisner-nominated scholar Brian Holmberg, and will focus on the pulp horror and mystery genres. First title of the new imprint is Her Frankenstein by Kawashima Norikazu. First published in 1986, according to the publisher. A few years later, Nayakazu burned his art and disappeared from public view. The one-volume manga is
That'll
the
do it.
story of a lonely, unloved young man who becomes the plaything of a movie and violence-crazed woman.
It's kind of like a Misery, if you will.
Misery, yeah.
I
Well,
was
they've
gonna
got
say-
a new movie that's already like this
Yeah.
coming out. It is a
Wish.
lady Dr. Frankenstein where she
Oh.
makes a boyfriend. And they keep adding new parts to him to make him better.
Cool.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Constantly trying to fix him. Oh.
Woman always trying to fix a man.
Mm.
The only way that will work is if at the end he just leaves her. Like once he's like perfect, he's like, I'm too good for you.
Appreciate that.
Too good for you. I'm out.
Frightening but moving story about an unfortunate individual who, lost in search of his true self, finds his own annihilation instead. 208-page book, which will include a cover gallery and a historical essay by mangaka Kawakatsu
Yep. Best of luck on that one there.
Tsukushige.
Yep.
I'm guessing, but that will be released in spring of 24 with a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $20, $19.99.
Here, we'll just read this quote and then we'll be done with this one. Though only getting his proper due now, Kawashima is an important figure in the history of horror manga. Holmberg said in a statement accompanying the announcement, considered by many to be his best work, Her Frankenstein was the swan song in a glorious era of horror graphic novels in Japan, which came to a close just as horror manga found its footing in the mainstream magazine market without underappreciated pioneers like Kawashima. There would have been no Ito Junji. And everyone, that's a household name, isn't it? Everyone knows that thing I just said.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Here's some good news about comics. You remember them, Randy?
No.
Comics.
You ever hear of them?
Oh, Scott Shaw. I know who Scott Shaw is.
Yeah, About Comics returns to the direct market after a 10-year absence.
Oh, good.
Small publisher About Comics is returning to the direct market after a decade of direct-to-customer and print-on-demand sales, with 2 new titles that will be distributed through Diamond Comics distributors. You know what? Maybe now's the time to strike, Randy Ferrero.
For Diamond?
Yeah. I mean, they need stuff to move. Apparently,
It's kind of like making a deal with the devil, almost.
a little bit. Yeah.
It's still uncomfortable for me to sit down after my last dealings with Diamond.
It's like it's like taking a hot girl home and finding out that
was 20 years ago.
dude
So, yeah.
looks like a lady.
Might be a different Diamond now, but that Diamond back then, I did not want to deal with.
The Adam's apple might just give it away. Just
Well, I'm not the world's
Okay.
most sensitive man,
We had
but I
to
know
track-
what I
we had-
am, and that is a man.
Yeah.
And
We
so
had to
is
track
Lola.
our
Hello, Willie.
we
I
had
love
to
that
track,
song. What a good
we had-
song.
We had to track our representative down from Diamond in order to get a straight answer from him, and at least he was honest with us. He said Diamond wanted anybody in the green section to dry up and blow away.
Did you give him the shakedown?
We
Catch him in
didn't.
an elevator?
We caught him in an elevator, but we didn't shake
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
we did.
that's great.
We caught him
Nice.
in the elevator. Who are you again? Oh, wait a minute. We got something to talk to you.
We're going to hit that shut door button, that stop
Stop
button for a
button.
moment.
Yeah, yeah.
We got a few things to talk about.
At least he was
Padre.
honest with us, and we appreciated his honesty. But that was one of the convincing factors for us to stop doing Arrow 3.0.
The publisher, founded by writer Nat Gertler
There you
in
go.
1998, left Diamond because they were having trouble making minimum orders for many of their publications, which include both new material and reprints of older work.
Yeah.
That helped them grow, and Diamond actually reached out to them about including the 2 upcoming books in their November catalog.
Amazing.
What do you know?
They must be looking for stuff then.
I'm telling you, that's the time.
They want to get a hold of me. I'll talk to
That
them.
Crossroads demon is got a bargain going on for the holidays right now. Gonna have a Black Friday sale. Speaking of Crossroad demons, Scout finally made the news for some other reason than being these guys. I'm telling you, they've got a list of creators they discriminate against based on political affiliation.
I'm being quiet. I'm being good.
Some one time you don't have to. Scouts relaunched the Mage Agency in December. So first off, this is probably the best thing that Scouts been able to pull off since their inception. Second off,
it's a recognizable title at least.
Yeah. Second off, I feel like Alan Davis might have made a mistake going to Scout instead of somebody else. Just my thoughts. Scout Comics has announced the release date for their relaunch of the Mage Agency, Mike W. Barr created the series in 1988, and it has been published by Comico, Innovation, Caliber Comics, and IDW Publishing over the years.
It's actually Kamiko, but
Comico.
yeah. Splitting hairs there. Sorry.
That's what it is. What it
IDW over
is.
the years.
Scouts relaunch. Yeah, there you go.
You want me to continue reading?
You go for it.
Scouts relaunch with art by Silvio Beltramo.
Silvio. Splitting hairs there.
Sorry, it's okay. Split all the hairs you want. Will debut on December 13th, 1923. The first issue will have a main cover by Beltramo and a 1.5 retailer incentive variant by Alan Davis. Probably
I said Alan Davis because that was the name that I just last read. I meant Mike Barr.
Probably artwork they've had on hand for a while. So
probably.
Mystery Comic stars Jennifer Mays, a private detective and owner of the New York-based Mays Agency, and Gabriel Webb, her boyfriend and true crime author. In the first issue, Jen and Gabe have to solve a murder on the set of a slasher film. Sounds like Castle. Anyway,
all right, so I talked with okay.
Yeah, right.
I got
on and on.
At the last convention I went to, I talked with a creator who was friends with someone who got a deal with Scout. And a couple of months later, after everything was said and done with the things, they just mysteriously died. And this was like a young woman, right? But it was a young African-American woman. And then
they passed, or they went away?
They died.
They died.
They passed. They went long, never came back. Yeah. Like gone, stopped breathing,
Sorry.
Vacated this realm, and mysteriously, and
suddenly,
without cause.
Still being quiet on that one.
And this guy, he said, yeah, and then Scout like pretty much tried to capitalize on her death for this story that they now have rights to. That's hers, right? And so he was not happy with Scout.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, that's some good tea. Thank you for spilling it. Yeah. He had a few more theories around that I'm not going to say publicly, but let's just say he could run circles around me on conspiracy theories when it comes to modern comics.
We try to stay positive here.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, that is one hell of a theory. Vault partners with ebooks and audiobook publisher Atheon.
Atheon, yeah.
But this is cool. Here's what they're doing. They're actually going to adapt each other's properties into the new formats. So Vault will make the ebook, will make Atheon's stuff into comics, and Atheon will make Vault stuff into ebooks and audiobooks.
Okay.
That's brilliant. What a way to cross over.
Smoke them all, you got them.
Yeah.
One of the things that I ran into Tuesday night was there was kids like, well, I don't read comic books. I said, do you read manga? Yeah. Okay. Well, this is just manga written the right way. Okay. Just, you just read it the right way for this country, right?
American manga. Yeah.
Yeah. It's American manga. I said, that's all it is. I was like, oh, really? I said, yeah, it's just good stories. It's just fun. Right. I go, oh, okay. And then I had two little guys like, I only read novels. And I'm like, you know what? Get off my lawn.
I know. Get out of here.
I legit told the little craps just get off my lawn. I'm like,
you get Tootsie Rolls. Now get out of here.
I'm like, no, you get nothing. Go. Nothing.
I only read novels. There's no pictures in that. What the hell?
You're 7. Who are you? Like, I only read novels. I read textbooks and things that make me smart. You're 7. Get off my lawn.
Is that what he said? Things to make me smart?
Mm-hmm.
I'd have laughed at him.
Yeah. I'm like,
I would have said, well, it ain't working.
So you're going to have a sad life, ain't you, kid?
Like, get off my lawn.
Good luck. Vault Comics, the ebook audio publisher, Atheon, have announced partnership to publish each other's books, different media, The two publishers have a similar focus in terms of content. Vault publishes horror, fantasy, and science fiction comics. Atheon's catalog is primarily science fiction and fantasy. There you are. In August, Vault announced it would publish a graphic adaptation of He Who Fights with Monsters, which Atheon published as ebooks.
I'll tell you what, that I like the title.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's simple. I know what it's about.
It's Nietzsche, right?
Good to
It
call
is
it
Nietzsche.
Monster Fighter.
So I think this is kind of interesting because I would not have known anything about this had they not partnered with Vault, and vice versa. Makes me think how many small publishers should team up with other small media producers of a different genre. Sky's the limit. People are ingesting media in different ways now, and we're storytellers, right? I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Edwin, let me ask this: how important is it that your story be read as a comic book?
It's hugely important. I think it's a medium that I love, that I'm super dedicated to. So anytime somebody backs my comic and reads it and gives me a review, whether positive or negative, it's huge.
So, without a doubt, comics are super important to us. We love them. It's the medium that we choose to tell our stories. But if someone could find your story through a different medium, how would you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm definitely open to.
I don't
all
think any of us would be negative,
never.
would be opposed
No.
to that, right?
Because at the end of the day, it's the story that's important. However, it gets to
Right,
the
yeah.
reader or, I guess, watcher, whatever.
Or whatever, listener.
In between their ears, it doesn't matter. As long as it's in their brain,
Yeah,
we're good to
Yeah.
go.
that's really what it's about, I think.
Consume.
I'm of the camp that you can tell a story across multiple mediums and multiple genres and multiple, formats of, I guess media, right? You can get something in like an RPG. You can get it in a comic book. You can get it in a movie or a novel. Same universe. It's all gravy.
DC boss exits Warner Brothers Discovery.
Warner Brothers Discovery, president of Global Brand Franchises and Experiences. That's a mouthful. The Global Brands president of Global Brands Franchises and Experiences.
Yeah.
And Experiences. I wonder what that means. Pam Lifford is leaving the company to focus on a family health care issue. Good for her.
Oh,
And DC President Jim Lee and General Manager Andy Pies will report directly to Lilford's boss. DC has confirmed Lilford had previously reported to WBD Chief Revenue and Strategy Officer Bruce Campbell. Lee and DePies will now report to Campbell directly. Campbell comes from the Discovery side of the Warner Media Discovery merger. He was the lead negotiator on the deal from the Discovery side and also led several previous acquisitions by Discovery during his 15-year tenure there. Prior to his time at Discovery, Campbell was also a deal maker at NBC Universal, where he led the negotiations with News Corp that created the Hulu streaming service.
Hulu.
So
Hulu.
I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I mean, he's a deal maker. Like, what's he know about comic books?
Nothing.
Well, that's the big problem with the majority of the folks up there in corporate executive land, is they don't know or care about the publishing side of things. They just know that they own these icons that with different symbols that they can merchandise.
I think he's going to try to create some kind of a deal. I think he's going to try to make some kind of deal with the properties at DC. That's what I predict.
I don't want to sound cruel here, but it sounds to me like Miss Lifford.
Yeah.
Ms. Lifford's job was redundant.
It does. It sounds like her job is redundant. I'm glad that she's going to take care of family.
Yes.
Yeah, that's important. Family is more important than.
But it is a
garbage.
Kind of a trope in the corporate world for an excuse so that you don't have to come out and say that they were fired.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a redundancy.
But shout out to Jim Lee.
We wish her. We do wish her and her family well. I mean, we don't wish them any harm or
be praying for
ill will.
Oh, we got Philbo Baggins in the house. We got Past Master Dan
Philbo.
and Agent Zero has joined us, as well as the Creators Outlet. Will Pace has joined us here. So,
hail.
Oh yeah, that movie I was talking about was Lisa Frankenstein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hadn't heard of it, but
Good news. He said, you're talking about good news. Is Marvel shutting down? That'd be some good news.
Marvel is shutting down. No, there's been a rumor floating that they're looking at having Universal come in and buy,
I've heard that too.
merge with Discovery and Warner Brothers. So, but
Philbo
that
says the only thing cool about this guy is
can't
his
really
name.
go through until about 25 is what I heard. 2025 due to legal entanglements. The only thing cool about this guy is his name. His name is Bruce Campbell. Yeah,
Bruce Campbell. That's a cool name.
Bruce Campbell is cool.
I have a novel. I bet he doesn't even know who Bruce Campbell is. I have a novel I want to get out. But outside of
Everybody
this-
knows who Bruce Campbell is. Come on.
Everybody should.
Does everybody here know who Bruce Campbell is?
Yeah.
Yeah, guy with the chin, Evil Dead,
Yeah, the chainsaw.
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 Ash.
I have a novel I want to get outside something. It disappeared. Anyway.
Yeah.
They don't need
they
to
don't
shut
need
down.
to-
Just shut up. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That'll work
Too
just
true.
fine for us. KKR almost. Oof, man, that's so close to the.
Uh-huh.
That's so close to the. wrong
Oh.
thing.
Even glancing at it, the header, I was like, "Whoa, what?" Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Ku Klux Klan. Oh no.
It's so close. It's so close.
They're a global investment firm. Yeah.
Yes, they are.
They completed its purchase of book publisher Simon & Schuster from previous parent company Paramount, October 30th, 2023, just a couple days ago.
Yep.
The 1.62 billion all cash
All
transaction
cash,
was announced
baby.
last August.
I want to see
Spread the
that in
butter.
ones
Yep.
and tuck them.
Man, everyone's gay once in a while.
I guess. Makes Simon & Schuster an independent private company, unique among the big 5 U.S. publishers. KKR will keep the current leadership team, including President. I always say that, though. We're going to keep everybody on board, and then like 3 months later, they're announcing
all
everybody,
We changed
all new
our
people coming in,
minds.
yeah, including President and CEO Jonathan Karp. As it has with other companies it acquired, KKR will offer all S&S employees an equity stake in the company.
I've heard KKR is all right. I don't know.
Y'all want some stock? Yeah, there we go.
I've heard they're all right.
Simon & Schuster publishes graphic novels under several imprints, including Aladdin, and Anthenium, it looks like, in Gallery 13. Stephen King's Dark Towers graphic novels. Oh. It's also the distributor of the book channel for Image Comics.
Image Comics, Viz
Boom
Media.
Boom Studios, Only Press,
Only Press.
AWA, Humanoids, Ahoy Comics, Andrews McNeil, Mad Cave Studios, Paper Cuts, Volt Comics, Scout Comics, Source Point Press, among others. They could have left that last paragraph off.
They could have really yeah.
Never mind. In a statement accompanying the announcement, Karp described the acquisition as both a return to our roots as a standalone company and an opportunity for all of us to forge a new path together.
Can we temporarily make fun of Randy for how he says the roots?
Yeah.
Roots? What?
Roots.
Roots?
Like a true Michigonian.
Excuse me.
Is it Michigonian? Is that what we would call you?
It's roots.
I thought it was Michigander.
Is it roots?
Michigander?
Yeah, it's a Michigander. Sorry. But
Did you know the term hillbilly actually does refer to a Michigan dirt farmer?
no,
Was it Randy? No, I'm totally kidding.
I wasn't a dirt farmer.
I apologize.
They had dirt farmers
Sorry.
up there. I don't
Yes,
know what a
they did.
dirt farmer does.
Farms dirt. What do you think? No, actually, he works the land. Yeah, which was left over after we had the entire state was raped for the lumber industry. They started at the Michigan-Ohio border and worked their way north. It's a very interesting time in Michigan history. A lot of lumber, a lot of ice. So yeah,
You guys play any Wizards of the Coast? You guys into that? Anybody here?
It was before the company went, agenda driven.
Oh, you mean the way of Kathleen Kennedy?
Wizards of the Coast is a
I want a chicken in it.
Put a chick in it, make her gay, make it lame.
Make it lame.
Yeah, I've seen that meme.
Gotta make it lame. That was so funny.
Wizards of the Coast was at one point in time actually a great company. It used to be called Wizards of the Sword Coast, or based on the Sword Coast, or it's what the coast is. They did Dungeons and Dragons after TSR, and they do Magic the Gathering and a whole bunch of host of other stuff until they were bought up by Hasbro, and then from there it's just a downhill
There it goes.
spiral of stupidity.
I love the misleading nature of this headline. Magic sales up 20% quarter 3 in down quarter for Hasbro overall.
Yep.
Hasbro's down overall, but no. Wizards of the Coast, they're doing all right. Wizards of the Coast Magic, the Gathering sales were up 20% in Hasbro's quarter 3, but were not enough to offset the big declines in other parts of the company that pulled overall quarter 3 sales down. Sales of Magic, the Gathering, were $287.4 million in quarter 3, up 20% from $239.3 million in quarter 3 of 2022. Wow, that's a lot of money for games.
Startling.
Startling amounts of money.
Keeping
If you
the
would have told
retailers,
me,
the comic retailers in business. That's what they're doing.
if you would have told me back in 1994 that this little niche comic, like this RPG thing, would one day be a multi-million-dollar industry, I would have laughed.
Dude,
I was
me
like,
too.
there's no way. There's no way. It's like, yeah, it's gonna in 1 month, it's gonna make $287 million. I'd be
That's
like,
a
there's
quarter.
no way.
It's technically 3
Oh yeah, a
quarters.
quarter. 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. It's gonna make $287 million. There's no
Magic
way.
the Gathering in its heyday was a lot of fun, but it was also extremely popular. It was all over North America.
Oh yeah,
I know.
it's all over, pretty much all over the world, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I
Wow,
know
so-
when they first started out, they didn't have a lot of faith in their company either, because they offered their artists a percentage. Hey, if you come on board, we'll pay you a little bit and then give you a percentage of the profits.
Yeah.
So all of the, I
they'd
know,
be very well aware of what they were trying to build.
yeah, Sue Van Camp did a lot of painting work for them for their expanding packs or whatever they were called.
Guarantee she ain't seen any of that.
Oh, they took it all away from her. They went
97.
through and had other artists go through and rewrote the contracts so that she didn't get nothing after a while.
Right.
She
because-
made a really good living for quite a few years off of that.
Yeah. But it reminds me, I had someone contact me and ask me about the Upper Deck sketch cards that they got an offer to work for them. And I was like, well, I've known a few people that have worked from, they've never said much about it, but I know they haven't worked for them long. I said, why don't you send me their terms just so I can see what they're asking you to do? And yeah, there's no way in the sweet hell that is this modern art industry that I would do that work.
I was under the impression, though I've never worked for a card company, that you had to be incredibly fast and turn out a lot of product in order to get any kind of money whatsoever.
And $7 a card.
Yeah.
$7 a sketch card.
Done and in color.
Done and in color.
Yeah.
I do a black and white for 15. And I do plenty of those. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so.
Nah.
$7.
Game revenue.
And then they have to approve them. And if they don't
Yeah.
like them, even after you've done them, then you don't get paid for it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you got to FedEx them the physicals on your dime.
Huh.
I'm like, yeah, no.
So I had to make a lot of them, send a big box full of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it takes you 30 minutes to do a piece of art colored, well, let's
Still
just say
not
the
worth
average person, right?
Still not worth it. Yeah.
You're making, it's $14 an hour. You
Yeah.
can get that at McDonald's and not have to deal with the bull crap.
Just set up a whole assembly line and you figure out how to watercolor them or color them incredibly quick. You just and get them all done, and you
Yeah,
might be
there you
able to
go.
get
Sketch
5 or
cards
6
are
of them done an
predatory
hour.
slave labor, Griff.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly
I
what
agree
it
with
is.
Eric 100%.
Absolutely what it is. Tabletop game revenue. Oh, wait. Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming sales were up 40% to $423.6 million from $303.5 million in the year ago quarter, driven not only by big increases in Magic sales, but also by $63 million in incremental revenues from the launch of licensed video games Baldur's Baldur's Gate 3, and Monopoly Go.
Okay.
Baldur's Gate 3, which is also mentioned a lot in
South Park, wasn't
South
it?
Park, yeah.
Yeah.
Tabletop game revenue in the Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming segments were up 18% to 290.5 million from 246.3 million in 2022, primarily behind the increases in Magic sales. Wilds of Eldraine, Commander Masters, and the Universes Beyond set, The Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth, were cited as major contributors. They did release a lot of new product in that 3-month period. I will be honest with you, they really did, and they're still on it. I mean, they're like they're insatiable with new product. They just love it. Hasbro total gaming sales, which includes sales of Hasbro brands from its consumer products segment, as well as Wizards of the Coast titles, were up 23% from 508.6 million to 628 million in the quarter. Sales in Hasbro's other two segments were down in the quarter. Sales in the consumer product segment, which includes toys and board games, were down 18% to 956.9 million from
I think that was
100.
a little bit in board
Number.
games, but a lot in toys, because a lot of the merchandising stuff is sitting on shelves because those
It really is,
franchises
yeah.
have been driven into the ground so badly.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. Hasbro's always kicked out a decent product, but when you pick up a license for a property that you're expecting to do great stuff or has done great stuff in the past, and then suddenly they suck, nobody wants to buy the toys, they have to take that hit.
Yeah, what are some of the licenses that Hasbro has?
I know
Does anybody
Hasbro
know?
owns G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Transformers.
Yeah.
Bunch of board games, right?
I went and I looked
Board
at the
games,
Transformer toys the other day, and they're all lame. Like, none of them are cool. I remember when Transformer toys used to be way awesome. They're all lame now.
Well, back in my day, they used to actually be made out of metal.
No, see they'll do the throwback ones, what they call the classic series. It's just like
Yeah.
the plastic version of the metal ones, but
Mhm.
they charge you $40.
There you go.
But they were cool.
Smoke them while you got them.
Who all played with Transformers when you were a kid? Who
Everybody
Yeah.
played with Transformers when they were a kid.
I
My son
wanted to
plays
play
with
with
Transformers
Transformers when I was a kid, but I was one of those unfortunate kids that were on the
You got
poorest.
GoBots, didn't you?
You had to play with the box. Yeah.
You got GoBots.
Tops is paying $1.50 a card for Star Wars when I started.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Yes.
I'm gonna do that.
I thought Luke's face was frozen, like I just saw his face, like to that comment, like what?
No way. $1.50.
$1.50.
The card, the ink that I would lay on that card, it's not worth $1.50.
Yeah. Hasbro lost 171 million in the quarter, pulled down by 473 million no cash charge related to its loss on the sale of E1 assets. The company's to 129.2 million profit in the year ago quarter. The Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming segment contributed 203.4 million in operating profit, up from 102.2 million in quarter 3 2023.
It's a lot of numbers there.
If you ever want to know what franchises are totally failing, hit your Ollies and your Odd Lots.
That'll show you. Yep.
That right off the bat, there's a lot of Marvel out there right now.
Big Lots and
Big Lots, Ollie's, your little closeout stores, dollar deals, whatever. They're all over the place anymore. Gen X buys more
Ain't
toys
lying.
for themselves than their kids, probably. Yeah, that's probably true.
my son doesn't play with toys. Never played with toys. Even when he was that age, like he wasn't really playing with toys. Like he was like into video games and
Yeah.
computers and stuff like that. You know, now I'm
A lot of
Yeah.
people today are they're like you said, they're just into digital stuff and they're minimalists. A lot of the younger generation,
Yeah.
they have absolutely nothing, no physical stuff.
they don't care about stuff.
Yeah, they
Oh,
just-
I saw the coolest study that these Gen Zers, the Zoomers, they're calling them, I guess.
Zoomers.
The Gen Z, that they don't like sex scenes in TV shows and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. Yeah.
They just don't care for it.
Makes
don't
them
wanna-
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it makes them uncomfortable. They don't want to. What they want is that they want stories about Like the biggest trope for that group is the found family. That's what they're all about. They're all
Wasn't
about
it,
friends. They want to know how to make friends because nobody knows how to make friends anymore. It's hard
wasn't
to
it
make
not
friends.
just like sex scenes, but also just like relationships too? They're more
Mhm.
interested
Intimacy
in
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't care about the romance at all. They don't want any of that. They want the friendships.
They're having that problem. They've been having that problem for a long time now over in Japan.
I mean,
same thing.
is it a
They're also
problem?
having a population problem. Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, they want entertainment. Like for them, like entertainment is watching people get along and work together and
and
be friends.
Italy for the last 3 months has had a negative ZPG, zero population growth. They've been in the negative. There have hardly been any births over in Italy at all the last 3 months because their kids are having a rough time with intimacy. And you start teaching this stuff in school and they start resenting it. It's what it is.
Right. E1 is a Canadian-based entertainment distributor. They have been sold 3 times in the last decade. I used to work for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, we have a fast food chain around here that was like that. They were taken up by investment groups and passed around like a hot potato. And every time they got passed, the quality of their the quality of their products just dropped through the floor. So 3 times around, that's got to be pretty bad because everybody first thing they do is they go through and they cut what they think is all the fat out of the out of the company. And after 3 times of that happening, they're probably left with next to nothing. They'll be bankrupt soon.
Probably.
Yeah.
Asmodee has inked a deal with Friendly Skeleton to distribute their games, hobbies, specialty mass market, and toys and gift retailers. This non-exclusive agreement adds Friendly Skeleton select titles to the Asmodee distribution catalog. Titles featured in this agreement are Monstrosity, Trash Talk, Cristallo.
Cristello.
I put the Spanish pronunciation on that double L.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
that was my bad.
that's all right.
I'm not sure what it,
Claim
from which
Hands
culture it
and
comes.
Fantastic Factories.
Not heard of any of them.
These titles will be available for purchase from Asmodee starting in fall of 2023. And it's already fall 2023.
and they,
you guys are late.
They already did Gen Smack. So, all right, guys, top 20 graphic novels for October. You ready for this?
These are not counting the manga sales. No, they are. I see Chainsaw Man's on there.
This is all of
What
them.
is what is Monica?
No idea.
Fantagraphic Books. They've got the number
Never
one
heard of it.
slot. Good for them.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Good on them, though. That
And now I got to go look it up.
no idea what that
Turtles.
book's about.
What's that?
Clementine Book 2 from Image also.
Yep.
I said Turtles, a book I actually recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that one.
Chainsaw Man. Familiar with that?
Yeah.
It's a manga.
Berserker
Good one.
Berserker,
from Boom. Yeah. Imagine that. Oh, you know what? So it's nice to have some celebrity behind things because celebrity does
Yeah.
help sell comics. I don't care. I don't care what you say.
Comics are
Comics are awesome.
Totally agree.
Cosmic
Totally agree.
Detective. Yeah. That sounds imaginative.
Cosmic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zatanna and the Ripper. That sounds fun.
I feel like Cosmic
Serial.
Detective should be after the semicolon of the name of the character.
It just he should
Sonic-
be a monkey. That's
Sonic the Hedgehog made it in
Sonic.
there.
Serial, mature. I don't even want to know what that is.
Lord Olympus. A lot of so Del Rey, Viz here. That's those are our manga. They're not. There's not as many there as I thought there would be.
It's an
this
interesting
season.
mixture this time.
It really is. It seems like there's more market share on things.
Yeah.
This
it does.
Batman Wayne Family Adventures, that's more for like kids, I think, isn't it?
Which one? Batman what?
It's number 11.
Wayne Family Adventures?
Yeah, isn't that more
Yeah.
like youth centered?
Probably, but I'm not familiar
Yeah.
with the title. I know who Batman is, but Wayne Family Adventures. I was looking at Serial Mature. They're from
I have no
Ahoy.
idea what that is. Yeah. Ahoy.
Ahoy.
So we just saw their name somewhere.
Yeah,
it
they
looks
were
like they're
they were part
making
of the
it.
SNS deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, part of the deal.
yeah. Remember
Yeah,
that?
and
So there's our graphic novels. Here's our comic books. It's our comic books. Transformers tops the charts
Man.
this month.
That's a
It's
revamp.
out everywhere I go.
It's Skybound revamped Transformers. It's supposed to be really good.
That art is nice. I like that.
Yeah.
He is so
Looks good.
good.
Classical storylines or new stuff,
Yeah.
or what do they do?
Yeah, because he's a big
new
fan
stuff
of
by people who care.
Transformers.
Yeah.
How novel.
It's supposed to be really good. All of the critics that the videos I saw talking about it are in a this is probably too good to be true mode. So we hope that Skybound and Kirkman does it justice.
Maybe
Yeah, I
that's-
hope so.
The only criticism I've heard is from like, I'm talking like hardcore G1 fans are like, this is way too dark. This is like darker than Transformers 86. I'm like, then yes. Sign me up.
I'll take a look for that then.
There's not a single independent publisher on there besides Image Comics.
Well, these are all distributed comics.
Yep, and these are only in this is that disclaimer of
Comic Hub
125
system.
stores.
Yeah.
Yep, 125 stores.
Yep.
So you've got Amazing Spider-Man, top of the, coming in right under Transformers, Batman, the Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War.
Which I hear is really bad. I haven't read
I
it.
heard it's
all.
really
just
bad.
atrocious.
Really bad.
X-Men, Fall of the X-Men.
Which I know is really bad.
Here's how bad it is. My kids were talking about how bad it was the other night.
Yeah.
Without me in the conversation. Like I was
Okay.
like, oh yeah, I've heard that was bad. I overheard them and jumped in. GODS Gods, #1, Marvel.
What about that?
$9 book.
That's why it's up there on the list.
Yeah, I want
a
you
lot
to
of the
look at
retailers
these
will order a certain
price
amount of
points.
every Marvel comic, and if they, no matter what the retail price is.
So these big distributors, these are floppies.
Yeah.
$4.99, $4.99, $4.99.
$3.99.
This Fall of is $3.99 is the only one that's in that price range.
Yeah.
$9.99. Leagues, Justice League versus Godzilla.
Versus Kong.
#1 of 6, $4.99.
Yep.
Mortal X-Men, which is probably a smaller, thinner issue, $3.99. Superior Spider-Man Returns, $6.99. $4.99, $5.99.
Because I did read the original, like the Superior Spider-Man. It wasn't bad. I thought it was a cool, interesting divergence.
Chat,
Yeah,
what do you
just
think? Do
lasted
we
too
need
long.
to? Do indie comics need to up their price from a standard $4.99 to $5.99?
Well, I've noticed that's all I looked at. I didn't even look at the titles. That's where I went straight to the prices for these. Like, they can afford to do that because it's 17 cents a copy for them to print. On
Right,
better
they're
paper than what we
just
do.
selling it.
Yeah, probably.
They've got the same
depending
cover
upon how many
prices.
they're printing. Yeah.
I mean, they've got the same cover price as Arrow Comics.
Yeah.
They've got the same cover price as many of the independent books that I will see at a convention or that do put them in a store. I think Starcross Comics is still at $3.99.
Yeah.
I think they're still doing $4 a book.
I
instead
bought
of-
Cryptidnals. I saw that in a local comic shop.
Yeah.
For $3.99.
Okay. That's
And
indie.
it's like-
We know that's indie.
It's Oliver and those guys.
Yeah.
But what they did, I was talking with Neff about it. They made the big book, and then the distributor split that up into the floppy series, and then they're distributing it out there for the $3.99.
Cool.
Still.
What is that? Antarctic doing that? I know Antarctic.
No, it's
a lot of
it's-
those properties.
It's
They're doing
Black something.
Oh.
I'd have to go look at my DMs or something. I'm bad with that, but it's not Antarctic.
Yeah, it's not Antarctic Press.
See, they had to reboot She-Hulk again.
Edward, what's your thoughts, man?
I'm not sure about the pricing. I do know about the Cryptidnals. It's a great book, and the fact that they've wound up on places like Midtown Comics, something that
It's exciting.
I definitely want to follow. I'm friends with all those guys, so I definitely
Yeah,
hopefully in the future, I'll be following suit. Just got to get up the catalog more to kind of so that's why I'm kind of pushing all these projects next couple of years to kind of get more stuff out.
Yeah. How many pages though? That's what he's asking. Well, typically they're 32 self covers or 40 page self covers. It's usually what they are.
24 pages of actual comic art.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
number 8.
$4.99.
There is
I
6.
know it's not on the list, but I have the new Spawn, the new King Spawn, but
I thought that was on the list.
it doesn't say how many pages. They don't have them numbered. I'd have to go back and count.
Yeah.
And 21 also $6.99.
If not, it ought to be on the list.
Yeah, there's $6.99 for that one. For Batman City of Madness, 1 of 3. Mature. Yeah. $5.99 for Star Wars The High Republic Shadow of Starlight number 1.
Are they marketing
$5.99 for Marvel.
You think they're marketing it up for the expected sales, or are they marketing it up for the
King
page
Spawn was $3. King
No, I
Spawn
think
number 26.
18
What-
pages of story.
With the corporate
$3 for
comics,
that?
they put a price on it that they think as high as they can possibly milk out of the retailer, because their per unit cost is, depending upon how many they print, it's really low.
So let me guess, that's probably a 24 self cover, right? Like if you count the covers and everything, it's going to be 24 total.
Oh, okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, that's what. All right, so just a little production insight for people. When you hear there's a plus cover and a self cover. Arrow does 32 plus cover, which means that's 32 interior, and then we have a thicker cover stock on the outside.
It's 22 interior.
22 interior, so that means
18 pages of story. They have an ad and like a little. I don't know what.
Did you count the cover files too?
Should
So that'd
be
be 22.
24 if they web pressed it.
Yeah, it
okay.
should be 24.
Yep.
So when you hear the
24
term
for covers.
self cover, that means it's the same paper stock for the cover and the rest of it, and you actually count the cover as a page. So when they say it's 24 self cover, the front, inside, back, and back cover are counted in the 24. So it's 22 interior pages. So it's a total of, what is that, 8 leaves, I think?
Which is additionally it's a lot less expensive than the other covers, because that's all part of the web.
It's
the cover
super
is
cheap
part
to
of
do
the,
it that
the
way,
main
yeah.
web printing for the interiors. So they just cut it. It's like doing a coverless comic. Those slick covers aren't cheap.
Yeah, it's way cheaper than what we're doing for our production.
Yep.
So I've done self cover. In fact, the old hybrids books used to be self covers.
They're probably getting that done for I would think around 50 cents a unit, maybe 52, 53 cents a unit total on the ones that don't have a slick cover. The slick covers are about 65 to 70 cents a unit, depending upon how many they're printing.
Yeah, well, I mean, at their levels, they're probably lower. They're probably more like 30 cents a unit.
You never know.
Yeah, this is the Virgin variant.
And the printing deal that they have with their printer, could also knock that price down by a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not paying much. I mean, at best, they're paying 60 cents a book on that.
I don't know. It's a dope cover. That's why I bought it.
It is dope. Yeah, it is dope. But so, guys, if you're out there and you're wanting to save a little bit of money on your comic book and you're wanting it to be more retail looking, a 24-page self cover or 32-page self cover even gives you more interior story, and you can put some ads in there. Do that on a 70-pound gloss text, and you will have almost exact 70-pound might be a little hot, maybe a 65-pound gloss text, and you will have exactly what it feels like to have. I mean, it will be just a standard floppy for what you would get from anywhere else. And there is a company that you can get that done at called comicimpressions.com. And they're actually the ones that does the printing for a lot of the Florida-based comic publishers that we've talked about today. They're the ones that print for Scout. So,
what about a solid gold plate as a cover?
That would be very expensive.
Probably. Yeah.
That would be very expensive. Have you seen the video where they're this guy is asking people if they would rather have a $10 bill or a 1-ounce gold coin? And everyone chose the $10 bill.
That doesn't surprise me, though. Yeah.
Because they had no idea that, the gold coin was worth like 18 grand.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, their reasoning was, well, I can spend the $10 now. I can't do anything with the gold coin right now. He goes, you can take it over to that jewelry store right there, and they will buy it from you.
At the current price
At
of
the
gold.
current market price of gold.
I have this giant piece of brick of gold. I can't do anything with it.
What am I supposed to do with
Can't do a thing. What am I supposed to do with this? Yeah, give me 10. I'll trade you $10 for it.
Yeah.
It reminds me, there's this old song back in the 70s during the Jesus movement called I Could Only Imagine. And it said a piece of bread could buy a bag of gold. And I'm like, we're there. Like, we're freaking there, guys. Like, that's it. Like, people are like, I'd rather have a $10 bill than a 1 ounce gold coin because I can't do anything with gold. Gold is worthless to me. It's like, well, you don't understand. Like, that $10 bill is technically worthless too.
Like, what are you gonna do with the $10 bill? I don't know. Go buy another vape cartridge. Shut up.
Yeah.
Imagine your ancestors in the trenches looking down on you from the heavens when you're having an anxiety attack because you forgot your vape at home.
Agent Zero spinner rack update. I've checked all 3 spinners I'm in charge of, and they need restock. Looking to pick up fresh batch of indie comics as long as the cover price is no more than $5.
There we are.
Shouldn't be hard to do that, guys. I mean, we're already doing that, right?
Yep.
Of course, Philbo Baggins and I, when we launch Iron Age distribution, they are $6. They're going to be $6 in order for the creators to actually make some money off of it, which still isn't much money they're making. Nobody's making a lot of money off of direct distribution. It's hard to make money off. Here's by dollars earned, Transformers still made their way. God's number 1 was number 2 because it's a $10 book. So that changed it up a little bit. Wonder Woman number 1 made more money. Yeah. What I'd like to see is that Spawn book getting its way up there. It's probably dead last because it's so cheap.
If it's
I don't even think it didn't make the list.
Didn't
make the list of money earned because it's so cheap. But thank you, Image, for giving us a comic book that's priced at the price that you can sell it for. Good job. But you know what? It might not have made the top 20 top 50 if it didn't have that higher price. Who knows? See, you never know these things. You're never sure what it's going to be when you do these things. It's impossible to know exactly. So, Randy, do you want to drive the Fund My Comic side of things today?
Yeah, I can.
All right.
I think I have it up there already.
I think you do. So we've got a couple of books that are new here. If you want to go to the homepage of Fund My Comic, we're going to talk about that today.
Pull it in.
Yep.
There it is.
All right. Homepage. As you can see, we still have our Halloween aesthetic up there. We'll be changing that. I made an image of a savage turkey that I might try to put the savage turkey on there somewhere. Yeah, for the turkey season.
Need a picture of the turkey reading the FMC?
Funny. Now, this is like a really brutal looking turkey.
Do that.
Okay. I'll share it real quick. It's funny. It's like I can't believe it. Like it's insane. I'm gonna delete some of these overlays. Hojo,
yes, sir.
Pretty good launch so far, man.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
So, what has been your experience? Like, how does running a second book compare to running a first book?
It's a lot easier. I mean, after that first week, there's not so much panic when, sales aren't like the first couple days. Everybody gets it. A friend like Don. I don't want to bust. I'm not going to bust him. He was like, "Man, what's going on? It's been a week." I was like, "Yeah, you just said it. It's been a week." It's better now with Fund My Comic because I'm already getting the Stripe payments, and I don't have to go out of pocket and wait to squeeze as much blood out of the stone as I can by leaving it in demand as long as I can before having to start shipping out books. Because I'm going to need that money to buy things to ship the books.
Now, for me, part of the reason why I want to do that for creators was because for me, it creates less stress on the family, especially during the holidays. Because you've got so much, there's so much expectation. So part of what we're talking about is time management with the time warp thing. Not only is there time management, but there's finance management. There's so much that you've got to worry about this time of year. It's like, we got Christmas, we got Thanksgiving coming up. There's travel. How am I going to pay for my production to get my stuff out? And also do all the things that I'm
and then have to schedule, streams and stuff, and
yeah,
being a 9 to 5 guy myself, I take off to do something, and then I get there, and then they're like, "Oh, I can't." Like 5 minutes before the show.
Oh, there he is.
Start,
Look at that.
they're like,
That's
"I
awesome.
can't."
turkey.
You got to deal with like the first. I had a rough week, like I guess last week, and it was all none of. It was just things that happen. Somebody's parents get COVID, or sick kids or something like that. Crap happens, but you just suck it up and you drive on. You reschedule the show.
Yeah.
But like right now, like I got up at 4 today. I went and worked 3 hours. I worked 30 minutes away. I worked 3 hours. Came here. I'm gonna do this show. After this is over, I'm gonna go back to work and then come home, pick my kid up, and
those are nice boots.
Yep.
That's a Puss in Boots, and then she also has a cat.
Yep. I see what you did there.
See what I did there.
So yeah, I mean, it is time management, man. You gotta, and I'm good at scheduling.
It's tough, man. Yeah. So Edwin, you produce a large number of books very quickly as well.
Yeah, man.
This new book you're working on looks amazing. It's up here on the. And if you go to search Bones. There you go. Bones. Or Bloodbone.
Success.
It's under Bloodbone. Bloodbone, yeah. I don't know why I said Bones. Might be one word.
Campaign is currently being edited.
Well,
that's right. Do you want me to make it live so we can show it off? Or do you want me to?
There it is.
There it is.
Bloodbone Ashcan.
Yep.
There we go. That's the one. Yeah, that's not being edited. So you've been live, like 2 days now? And
88 to go. Look at that.
Let's talk about yours for a minute. So you've been doing, the last one you did was Raid of the White Leopard, which, by the way, bravo.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
bravo. And then you did, and now you're doing this one. How many books do you have planned?
I have a bunch. Next year, I have Ace Volume 3, which is currently being colored up and being lettered. And I'll have full Bloodbone number 1, and then possibly Raid of the White Leopard number 2. So that's all in the works right now. Right now, I'm shipping actually Raid of the White Leopard's about close to halfway being fulfilled.
Nice.
I'll be getting more copies out over the next couple of weeks. If anybody backed it out there, just double check that your address info is in the.
Yeah, we had a slight little glitch. It was early on. I mean, again, you were one of the very first adopters. We had made an update to the site, which reset some of the default parameters, which allowed people to manually input their address. And you know what people did not do? They did not manually input their address. It was insane how many people did not do it. And we had a very busy weekend when that happened for the Ma'am I Am book. It had gotten featured on Mr. Reagan's podcast. Mm-hmm. And we had hundreds of people come in over the weekend and back that book. And probably a good 80% of those people that backed the book did not manually enter their address.
Yeah, I remember I had a couple myself. I was on the site at the time.
And I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, we've been sorting out that headache. But again, it's one of those things, just learning and growing pains with things. And, we've finally gotten, so now we know as soon as we have to do anything, we immediately go back and I look at that setting to make sure that everything is, so I'm not going to have a headache down the road. And Edwin, I can't express how grateful I am that you've been one of the early adopters to this thing. Now, this book is only available here on Fun Mind Comic. Is that correct?
Yeah, this I did Bloodbone as an ash can, put out like a foil ash can version last year. I did it through PayPal, kind of following the footsteps of like Joe Sontag.
Yeah.
Who were doing that kind of stuff. So it's very limited. Only printed like a little bit over, so it was super limited. And then, it's kind of working on Ace and different things. People have been hitting me up about, seeing if they could grab a copy of Bloodbone. So I was like, you know what? I added a 4-page short story to the ash can, and then I ended up getting Shelby Robertson to do the cover. Which came out awesome. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, we're putting out this version here, kind of making it more widely available. The campaign's going to run for 90 days. I'm super excited about it. Like I said, I'm working on a big #1 issue with Joe Ball next year. I think it's really fun, kind of action packed about this kind of hulking kind of badass who's trying to clean up his city. Mixes a lot of elements, and it's really completely different from anything else that I've done. It kind of let my artist loose on these pages. You see what Donald's done has been.
I was gonna say that's Donald, isn't it? Yeah.
That definitely looks like Donald's style there.
Yeah.
That
especially.
Yeah.
That page right there.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, tell us a little bit about Bloodbone. What's the premise of this?
Yeah, so Bloodbone's the story about a man who returns to his hometown after being gone for several years away. And he finds out that it's been overtaken by a criminal enterprise. And, he's developed a bunch of skills over the time he's been gone. So he decides to suit up as a vigilante and clean up the city the only way he knows how. And that's, like I said, his name, he basically lives up to his name. He's going to be, spilling a lot of blood and breaking a lot of bones. And, just really kind of mixes a lot of different elements. I compare a lot to Arrow, the first kind of couple seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Anybody who saw Arrow knows, Oliver comes back from the island and he's completely changed. And he sees that his city is completely corrupt. And he has to basically start delivering justice because nobody else can. So you take some of those elements, like I said, this kind of the city that Bloodbone grew up in was basically a beautiful kind of metropolis. And, he's basically been through a lot of stuff, when he was away. He comes back and the city's been completely changed. It's basically turned into, and he realizes that, the police have been corrupted. The politicians have been bought off. And a lot of the people that he grew up with have been hurt and they're kind of suffering right now. And that kind of what drives him to use the skills that he gained while he was away to clean up the city.
Sweet. So this is ready to go then, basically.
Yep. Everything's completely done. I just basically crowdfunding it to get it printed and shipped out to people.
Very cool. So when do you think you're going to fulfill this one?
Should be March. I'm aiming for.
Cool.
Holiday fulfillment is tough. Anybody who's been through that. So right now I'm trying to get Raid out within the next 2 months. So November, December, and then kind of recess in the new year, and then it should be, I should have proofs. I should have all that done by January, and then it's just it'll be about collecting addresses and everything and getting shipments and all that kind of, mailers, all that kind of fun stuff, and then. Figured by March everything should be shipping out to everybody.
I've actually started just letting RJ do my fulfillment. I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore.
No, it's fun, but it's also terrible.
Yeah. Yes. It's neat. Like there's moments where you're like, this is so cool, and then I'm like, no. No, I'm over it. Yeah.
Then you actually see the bill of how much you actually spend on shipping stuff out to people. You go, this isn't that fun.
Yeah, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Yeah. And but yeah, man, this is it's really cool. I love the art. I love the art style. So talk about your you're offering what, 2 different covers on this? Your art is sold out.
Yeah, this is actually that's the foil ash. Yeah. So I had a couple remaining copies of the foil ash can, so we're offering those up. Okay. I think it's only like 6 of them left. Like it was super limited. Like I said, I only have like I think 2 or 3 copies myself. So that was something that's super limited. And then, like I said, that's the main cover for the.
So once that tier's sold out, it's sold out.
It's gone forever.
Okay.
Never.
Are you offering any coupon codes on this?
Yep. Anybody who signed up for the mailing list, I sent out the email on Monday for a coupon code that you can use to save some money on any other tiers.
Very nice.
So,
very nice. So, what's next after this one? You were mentioning some of the things that were next.
Yeah, it's next is going to be the Ace Volume 3. It's currently about halfway colored right now, and then it needs to get lettered, but that should go quick, super quick. So everything should be good to go probably around April to launch Ace Volume 3.
Okay. Man, that's quick turnaround. So let's talk about your time management. This is not your full-time gig, right?
No, but I work 9 to 5 like Hojo. So,
you guys are able to, I can't believe it, how much you guys are able to get done when you have other things that you're doing. So what do you contribute to your productivity the most?
Honestly, something I've dreamed of as a kid. When I was younger, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to work for Marvel. I wanted to be in the bullpen, all that kind of stuff. Grew up a 90s X-Men fan. So, that's kind of was my dream. So, all these years later that I'm a, creator, like this is all I want to do, really. Like this is what motivates me. This is what makes me go to that 9 to 5 and grind away there, the fact that I can do this.
9 to 5. And this is a podcast from 9 to noon. So you had to take a day off work to be here.
Yep.
See? Like, look at that. That's some dedication. Bravo.
Sacrifices are required.
Yeah. I think do what you gotta do.
I think that's what some people forget about. I was actually talking with Chris Bradley about this. The amount of creators that are how many backers do you have? Refresh it and see if we have any more backers. Randy, there we go. Randy. Did we get one? Got 8.
Yes, we got one.
The bird dance.
All right.
Make the bird dance. Gotta make that bird dance.
Yeah.
Today we are flipping Edwin and Hojo the bird. Okay, so make sure to get over there to Fund My Comic and flip them the bird this morning. It is vitally important to the peace of humanity that you flip them the bird. Okay, and every time you flip them the bird, it will dance for us. All right.
Speaking about dancing, the only thing that was missing from that was Pedro and dancing in the background.
Yeah. Dancing in the background is
yeah.
So, like I was saying, I was talking with Chris about this. How I knew that there were creators out there that were just their idea of marketing was to create a campaign, and once it was there, it was up to the website to sell it. I knew there were, but I was surprised at how many there are, and it's not just for Fund My Comic. I'm seeing this on the Pink and Green site too. People expect that their idea of marketing is to just build And some of them don't even build a good one. Like, there's like so many suggestions that we have to give them. Like, maybe put some art on your campaign so that we can see it. Do you know how many times I have to say that?
Well,
like,
or at least put some art on the top. At least put the art on the top.
Put some art anywhere so that we can see it. It doesn't take much work to just go to. I'm going to share my screen for a moment. I'm going to just use it's going to be, hopefully, I don't know that the audio will work, but I'm going to share mine real quick. Share the screen, Luke. There we go. It doesn't take much work for us just to take a scroll and say, okay, what campaigns are being very successful right now? We've got, and usually you're going to see the successful ones on the front page because you only get there if backers are tipping the website, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what boosts you here.
Dang it, Brink.
Brink, yeah, is still getting more than you. So let's just look at this one. This is just an exclusive cover for Fund My Comic. He's running this on the pink side as well. So basically, people are coming over here just to back and get this extra cover.
And there's the interiors.
But look how well he's polished this. Each reward has a description. You can do all that. This just takes time. It doesn't take that much time, but it just takes time. So you look through like, okay, lots of art, not a lot of text. I'm going to be really honest with you. The only time I ever read the text is when I'm reviewing a campaign so that I know they have the information in that they need to and that they don't have any bad stuff in there that would break our terms of service. But for the most part, when I'm backing a project, if like say, let's say that Agent Zero is doing the review and he's done the review and I haven't seen it, I don't look at all of that other stuff because I trust he's done his job right. I just look through the campaign, look at the art, take a look at the rewards to see which one I want. Okay, I don't want that one. That's out of my budget. This one's close to my budget, but I have all that already. I don't need the digital. So all I need is the new book. So I would just get the new book, which I've already got. I think I've already got it. I need to check my contributions. But it also has a video. A lot of them don't have videos. Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're good.
Does it sound fine?
Yeah, sounds good.
This week we're good.
All right, I figured out the problem. Figured out the problem.
Maybe not, because we just lost audio there.
It's a little low.
It had
I can't hear it all now.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, it's still the same problem.
Oh, still the same problem? Man, I don't know what's going on with that. I updated.
I can call it through on mine.
No, it's okay. We don't need to watch the video. Ever since I updated that thing, it's given me fits. So I'm hopefully there's another update soon.
Everybody
or you go to the Mythicals.
Navigate to the website and just take a look if they really.
Yeah, you look. And then the other one, you look. Okay, so there's another one with the video. It's got art. Oh, look at that art, pictures, more art, finished pages. You start seeing like, okay, what is successful? Like, what is this? That you're going to get that's going to be successful with this stuff. And it doesn't take much to just go through and research on the ones that are making money.
That's part of making your campaign is doing research on successful campaigns. It's in Rob Arnold's video.
Yeah. You look at that, it's like, okay, what has been successful? What did they do? What kind of rewards did they put up there? What kind of stretch goals did they have? And then, so not only look at their campaign, but then look at their marketing strategy. How did you find it? Like, did you find out about this campaign somewhere? And how did you find out about it? What was it that drew you to it? And so you start thinking, you start reverse engineering it. Like, what did they do to make me want this? Mm-hmm. There was a ton of activity on Twitter about this.
Yeah.
354 people. And every time they took advantage of the mailing list, right? So every time they did a post, They directed people to a mailing list. Sign up for updates. Right? So then they had a lot of people that knew about the campaigns. They knew about the campaign, knew what was going on. So they actually did a lot of work leading up to it. Right now we've got this. We've been promoting this, and we haven't done a great job because we don't have the video up yet. But we just created a quick landing page here so that you can see the book and have a little bit of update about it, what it is, so that you can sign up. And what this does when you sign up, even if you signed up for one of my mailing lists before, I've got this worked out to where it just adds a tag to your name for the crossover, for the team up. That way I know you want an email about the team up, and I'm only emailing the people on my mailing list that signed up for this. Right? Which, by the way, we've done pretty good so far. I'm sorry, what's that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pre-prep when it comes to your pitch. Like you really have got to get a lot of kind of pre-work done for that. Which, by the way, guys, I'm going to put this link in there. Go over and sign up for this. This will also tie into another property that launches in December. That is all very reasonably priced. But there's going to be special covers for issue 1 of both hybrids and GOD, so that you can get kind of the start. There's going to be like a really cool package, but we're going to offer a discount to anybody that signs up on the mailing list. So, but yeah, so all you got to do is just kind of go through and look at. But you'd be surprised how many people don't look at other successful campaigns, and what they do is they wind up dropping just really
hot garbage. No, I don't want to say that.
No,
I don't want to say that, but it's like if you're unprepared for the test, and then you wonder why you failed.
It comes across as lazy, is what it does, right?
First in, best dressed. Which kind of is something that occurs to me too. If like you know how you hire like an anchor, or an art, like a colorist, or whatever, you could, in theory, if you suck at all these things, you could talk to the people that have successful campaigns and be like, hey, can I hire you to help me out?
Look, Edwin runs successful campaign after successful campaign, and he's done it on his own outside of a crowdfunding platform.
There you go.
Like he just said, the first Ashcan he did for that, he did through PayPal. People just sent him the money for PayPal, and then he sent it. Like old school stuff. Agent Zero, his sign up for Chrome Dog was done through Google Docs.
Google Docs, I remember that, yeah.
I mean, people act like it. Again, they depend on a website to sell their book, and that's just not how it is. I mean, the website allows you, it's the conduit for you to get to the customer, but it's really up to you to do that. Now we're getting ready to come into the holiday season when we have far less time to dedicate to marketing and to production and things like that. And so when it comes to the pitch, not only do we have to work on our pitch and what we're doing, but we have to try to manage our time to do that. And I do want to talk about that for a little bit this morning. Guys, I want to get some more backers this morning as well. Let's take a look at Hojo's campaign real quick before we start getting into these topics, because I think the two of you are perfect for the kind of input that our audience this morning needs listening to this. I know there's a lot of you out there that are creators, aspiring creators. You're working on things yourself right now. Welcome.
Yep.
We got Red Dress in here. Welcome. We got Dr. Mask has joined us as well. Just Call Me Insane has joined us. Thank you for being here. Also, the Wilk Breaker has joined us as well. Thank you for being here this morning. We do appreciate you. So far, 83 backers. You funded in the first 24 hours on this campaign. Now, there's a lot of pressure. I know there's a lot of pressure. Your first campaign, 24-page floppy, you were able, with the hustle that you did, were able to raise over $10,000.
Almost 12.
Almost $12,000 for your campaign, for your book. Bravo.
Pretty insane.
Yeah.
That's good.
Whereas most people, when they hit that first campaign, they lose a lot of money, which
Yeah.
is typical. It's typical, you know. I'm still losing money on some things that I start, you know.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I made money. Like, don't let the total fool you.
Yeah, right.
Overhead is a price that no one can define but me, and unfortunately,
Well, it's also a variable. It slides, right?
yeah, and it's a learning experience. Like, if you go from that campaign and you look at this campaign, if you know how campaigns are run and you know about overhead, you'll look at my first campaign and this one and be like, yeah,
you learned some things.
Yes, there was a course correction. There was a trimming of the fat.
Well, that's why I always love when I see a campaign come across from Edwin, because he's done it before, and he knows like there's very little that has to be checked out on his. Like, you know, it's like, looks good, okay. This is when he wants to start, approved. You know, when I'm checking his campaigns, I'm just checking for like little things. There's no big rocks that need to be addressed, right?
Yep.
But you see a lot of these first time creators, like, what are some of the things that you learned from first campaign to second campaign?
That you can, I mean, obviously you can't depend on a platform or an algorithm. You can't predict an economic downturn, but some of the things that I learned is just to be more concise. Like when you're doing a pitch, and I refined my marketing techniques. I did a lot of things and I would see what other people did. I'm like, that works for them. And I'm like, oh, well, that really didn't work for me. And
so, give some examples if you could.
Like if you want to try like a drama marketing thing or like a hot take or something, like I'll do that, but I don't do it about comics anymore. I just do it about my news on the world, like my thoughts on the world.
So you tried the hot take marketing.
Like if you don't like propaganda books, then take a look at mine. I don't have to do that anymore because everybody knows it's not a propaganda book and it's not a book to stick it to the left. It's a book to stick it to bad comics, because I read a lot of bad comics and saw stuff I didn't like. I was like, I'll do it myself, and I could do it better. Yeah. Here you go.
You know, that's something I like about pretty much everyone here on the panel. None of us sell books by sticking it to anyone else. It's not really a stick it to anyone.
Because believe me, I don't want to be. No offense, but I don't want to be out. Like, I didn't know in the beginning that it was going to be this much YouTube promotion, which is cool with it, man. I can talk to people. I'm not that that person, but it's, you have to be able to be genuine and do that. People can smell the fudge, man. They can see the fakes.
Yeah,
they can see the people that are there just trying to. I just figured I'd make a comic. You know, I see a lot of people doing it, YouTubers, and they're making money off of it. Yeah, they're making money off of it because they're YouTubers. They're already known. You have to build your platform. I did know about the building your platform thing, and like you have to become a brand. And I did all these things. I'm like, I guess I accidentally created a brand. Like when I say something, or if I say something clever, people are like, oh, yeah, that's totally Hojo.
Yeah, that's a Hojo
but
thing.
Yeah, but like Neff said about his marketing techniques and the things that he does, he's like, people can't do what I do because they're not me. Well, if you're coming in with a 24-page floppy and you're trying to copy my strategy and everything I do, odds are it's not going to work for you as well as it did for me, because nobody can push the mythicals in the way I do it like me.
Yeah. You are always going to be the best salesman of your work.
Yeah.
And people have to get really good at selling. We're in an age where you're not just buying the work, you're also buying kind of the creator as well. They're supporting kind of who's behind it.
Of it.
It's tough these days. I mean, not only do you have to be out there and be visible, but you have to be somewhat likable. That's
or if you're going to be unlikable, then do it in the way that people like the Howard Stern way, like to where they tune in because they just want to see what you're going to say.
Oh, right. Yeah, that would probably be a good way to do it. Last night we were talking on Critical Blast, and Joe made the comment. He goes, there's no surprise to me that Eric July was as successful as he is, because he was already famous with people. Yeah. He already had the audience. So of course the book's going to do well, right? When you think of when you try to compare your work to ex-pros, when you see, Reenie comes in on my comic and and raises $22,000, and a few days, and you try to compare yourself to that. It's like, well, she's got a lifetime, of work before this already,
Yeah.
and she'll have a lifetime of work
How do you
after.
think she got here? Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of work that she's put in, and she has made up ground. She's kind of created a brand and an audience and a fan base.
I was thinking that Eric July is kind of like a bad example of that, because in a sense, because he is not only famous for YouTube, but he does know comics and he's been reviewing comics and doing that for a long time. Who would be a good example to determine how fame can, I guess, boost your stuff would be Andrew Tate with his Top G.
Oh,
comic.
Top G.
That was a crap comic, but the guy was famous.
Or Berserker.
Comics are awesome.
Like, it was a terrible comic, right?
People bought that book because of Exiled, yeah. Which I don't know. I mean, who was it?
I haven't read any of them, so I can't say that well, they wrote a bad comic.
I bought Exiled, and I don't know if I've gotten it yet or not, because I've got a number of boxes I haven't opened. I was kind of saving them for some an unboxing video, but I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm so busy doing work and trying to catch up on work that I'm like, I don't know. I don't have time for this. So the pile keeps getting bigger, which means the number of videos that I have to make are getting bigger. And I'm like, I don't know if I can manage this or not. The one that I did not hesitate to open was Bronze Star, because I had the artist edition of that, the oversized artist edition. And man, was I so glad I opened that. It's such a beautiful book, man. It's probably one of
Broderick's good, man.
It is one. It's
really
it's
good.
prized.
Yeah.
It's one of my prized possessions. I'm so happy that I have that in my collection. But again, you see how successful Mike Barron is. But look what does he have to do, right? We're virtually nobodies. Nobody knows us outside of, maybe a few hundred people. And every day that we are out there, we're introducing people to ourselves. I've known Edwin for a while. He's been doing comics for a while. But there was also a period of time where, Edwin, you kind of disappeared for a minute.
Yeah. I think sometimes you got to take small breaks, just to get your feet under you. One thing I've learned from past campaigns is, you can't push yourself to exhaustion, because you'll be no good to anybody. So,
you can't get any work done
from past campaigns. You got to learn when to put that foot on the throttle and go. And then you got to take a step back and be like, all right, now I'm going to refresh. Because also, people get tired of you, your book's out, brother. Relax.
Yeah, I saw you already.
We're good. Just take a little break and make people miss you a bit. Like, oh, I missed out on that. Then you come back and you hit them again. So you got
the worst. The worst is when you're like, hey, you want to check this out? Dude, I already backed it. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah. I can't keep up with it. So when you went away you kind of refreshed and you came back, you also did a little bit of rebranding for yourself, Edwin. Tell me about that, because that was interesting for me. I mean, I don't think there was anything wrong with your brand before, but you came back, and when you kind of started getting back in the scene more and becoming more visible, you've come across as a proper publisher these days, and not. I think were you using a little bit of the shock marketing at first? I think. I can't remember if it was you or someone else.
Yeah, it was definitely before I became a creator. I've always said there's a difference in how a creator should behave as opposed to a customer. And sometimes when you say stuff, you actually have to follow through on it. So that's what I did. I kind of separated myself and put my
welcome J-Bot
creator hat on and started to behave as one. I'm not involved in anything that isn't really positive and towards kind of, making the best comics that I can make. If it interferes with that, I don't tweet it. So, I think people know, unless I'm venting about pro wrestling, that's really the only venting you'll get on my Twitter.
There you go.
Everything else is going to be about the book and making comics.
Yeah, you're allowed to vent. I think one of my biggest frustrations when starting Film My Comic was, well, Luke, you're not allowed to take a side on anything anymore. Well, that's bullcrap. I'm still going to take a side on things.
Yeah.
Like this whole like people supporting Hamas and what's going on. I'm like, no, I will not be like the mainstream and be like, it's okay to support terrorists. No, that's bullcrap.
No, it's not.
We're not playing that game. So of course I'm going to speak out against what I believe is. I mean, that's why I created Fund My Comic, is so that people can say what they believe and speak out for what they believe without being blacklisted or suppressed because of their views. I just watched a video last night where a man in England posted something denouncing Hamas, talking bad about Hamas, and they came to his home.
Oh yeah,
and they arrested him because he posted an anti-Hamas thing on Facebook.
Wow.
Where is the freedom in that?
Mm-hmm.
That would be none.
There is no freedom. That's happening in England. It's happening in Canada. And I think that we're pretty close to that happening here now.
Well,
what's saving us is our First Amendment rights.
I was going to say, that's that whole pesky Constitution thing here, but give it time.
That's why they want to rewrite it. That's why they want to amend it. And that's why we exist. Because, we don't play those games, and it's okay. But when you come out, I think, but you do have to have some professionalism about you. And that's one thing that I really like about both of the guests this morning. And I think Randy and Whiskey can attest to this as well, that you guys come across as very professional, but also very solid in your values.
I never see Edwin post anything that's even remotely controversial. Like most of the time.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
No, I mean, no, it's true.
No, I got it. I know. Yeah, I don't change. I don't either.
Yep.
But it's good though, because you don't come off as negative in any capacity.
Yeah. It makes it easy. And I think sometimes people don't need to know. Now, I don't post everything that I think, obviously.
No.
But some people don't need to know that.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier is like, you think I want to be here when my comic heroes growing up, I didn't know what their politics were. I didn't know Mark Waid was the way he is.
Didn't care. Yeah.
I did not care.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, oh God, I wonder if I'm pronouncing their name wrong. Probably. But I used to think it was Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yeah. Sienkiewicz.
Yeah. So I didn't know.
Tomato. Yeah.
And I thought it was Art Thibert. Art Bear. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I
did not care.
For the first time I heard his name pronounced, I was like, who's Art Teddy Bear?
Yeah.
I'm like who
Art
talking
Bear.
about?
Is that like some kind of
Art T. Bear?
I was
like, oh, you mean Art Thibert?
Yeah. So I didn't care, and I think we should. I'm not saying we should go back to that, but it should be about the art you put out and nothing else. Like, if you want to make a political book, make a political book, but don't inject it into established properties to try to teach us a lesson and preach to us.
Yeah.
Just tell a story. Like, storytelling itself is an endangered art at these big stream companies.
Yeah. I think about how many, and let's pick on some of these people that are actually making money on books, but yet you don't know what the book is about, right? Like the big question that Eric keeps getting is, well, what's the motivation of what's it about? There's never an answer for what it's about. It's always and I see not just him, but I see all kinds of people buy my book because I'm not them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why should I support you?
Yeah.
What makes you any better than them?
Mm-hmm.
First off. And number two, why do you deserve my money? Why do you deserve my money? What are you making? What's it about? Why is it important? Why is it going to enrich my life? What value is going to bring to me, to Luke Stone, if I buy your book? When I saw the campaign for, which it's closed now, but I think you can still search it. Can you go to Bronze Star and look at that? Again, another successful campaign. And then we'll get back to the mythicals because I want to talk about what the value of your book is. You spelled bronze wrong.
I did.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There it is. Yeah, it's ended, but you can still look at it. So when I looked at this,
I didn't get in on that.
yeah,
Kicking
yeah,
myself in
that was
the
a
ass
big
for not
fail.
doing it. Yeah.
That was a
That
big
was 2
fail on
days
your
ago.
part.
Yeah, it
Damn.
was.
When I first saw this, all they talk about. So Mike had been making books that were selling a lot because of the political aspect.
Mhm.
You know, that was the marketing, and those are, you know, yeah, it worked. And I remember having a conversation with Chris about this when he goes, "Well, you know, this is the first book in a minute that we're producing that doesn't have any kind of political drama around it. You know, it's not Thin Blue Line, it's not Private American, it's just Bronze Star. There's nothing controversial about this at all in our current
Just
culture.
a story.
It's
Yeah.
just a
It's a story.
story." And man, what a great story it is. As soon as I saw it, I knew that this was going to bring value to me, especially when I saw that art book. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to look through this and I'm going to have mountains of inspiration off of this. So it didn't matter what it cost me. It didn't matter what that was because I understood the value to it. Why do I need to give you $35 for your 90-page book? Why do I need to wait 4 years for your book to get to me? What value is that going to give me? It's almost like that conversation. Do you want $10 or a 1 ounce gold coin? Well, the $10 gives me value right now, right?
Yep.
We have to explain, we have to give information on why our book and our story is valuable to your life. Every time we encounter someone, that's our pitch. That's what we have to do.
Mike Barron.
Again, and yeah, you go through and you look at,
Yeah.
this is what a successful campaign looks like.
Uh-huh.
I love Mike in his hat.
That's
What
He looks kind of dorky sometimes, but I love him.
what makes a good pitch, Luke?
Well, like Hojo said, being clear and concise.
and being excited about it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not excited about it, bro, why do I need to be excited about it?
Yeah, I hear you.
Understand the tropes that the generation or the people that you're talking to are into, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk about hybrids, it's a found family. It is about how family is more than blood. That family is a bond that ties people together. And we tell that through this odd superhero story that really focuses on the characters and how they react to the world around them. You have to understand your audience a little bit, you know, and kind of figure out where they're at and what they're into. If I'm talking to a Gen Zer, I'm not talking about the romance between Trash Man and Chlorine. I don't talk about that because that's not important to them. If I'm talking to someone that's not into the Nephilim and is not a conspiracy theorist, then I don't talk about that.
Yeah.
I just focus on the story, what it is, and like what the core of it is. A lot of people don't want to know the background on how you came up with your story until they care about the story, right?
Yeah.
I see so many people focusing on their pitch on how they came up with the story.
Yeah,
world building.
I don't tell anybody unless they ask because most people watching don't care.
Most people don't care about world building; they care about characters. It's all about characterization.
Yes,
They want to know about the characters. If you want a good pitch, you're going to talk about your characters and why they're important, why they have value.
So, same question, Randy. What makes a good pitch?
Just something that's eye-catching that makes you want to, buy the book. Really.
Ooh,
I mean, you have to describe it. The visual, especially we're in a visual medium. The visuals are very important. Scrolling through Bronze Star, for example, looking at all of that great Pat Broderick art, it's just amazing. Still amazed by it.
Yeah, let's go back to
line work.
Let's go back to Bloodbone. Yeah, great art. Let's compare that to Bloodbone. See what he's doing over there.
Jumping. Come on. Trying to get back to the main page here. All right, we'll do this.
Boomer juice activate.
And then you get, I mean, you're just hit in the face with great art.
Yep.
And that person on the cover is hit in the face too. But you're hit in the face with great art. I mean, look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. That's so neat. And then you get to see the interiors.
Everything on this works. I love that logo. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that.
Yeah, it's great.
Readable
your
and it
logo
says a
for you?
lot.
Yeah, it's
That's
How
tough.
Comics. He does all my logos for all my projects. He did Ace, all the Ace logos, and the Raid of the White Leopard one too.
He does great. I might have to start hiring
Yeah,
him.
good work.
He's got a good creative eye.
You
Yeah,
could do
look at those
at least
interiors.
one video on making a good logo in general, because there's a lot of really bad logos out there. You know,
Oh yes.
that's
Which is
definitely a good one.
videos are great for marketing. Those instructional videos,
Yeah.
something that a lot of creators neglect, but it's
It's so neat.
an absolute key of the
Yeah.
marketing funnel is being able to create content that instructs and
He's got an itty bitty head.
gets people to,
He does.
come back for more.
I love Donald's style. It just works so well.
That
I was
page
gonna
right
say
there,
exactly
like
that.
if you look
Yep.
at that, that's Donald. Like he has a style that like I can't describe it to anyone. Like
He's
almost-
fast.
it's like Sam Keith.
Yeah, he's so
A little bit
fast.
of that.
Yeah. Yep.
He's
Great.
faster
Yeah,
than
when
I
I-
am, I think.
When I
And
was
he
first
does this a
coming
lot
up,
on
that's what I
Twitter,
wanted
too.
to.
I'm sorry.
Donald was. Yep. Go ahead.
No, can you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
Oh no, I'm saying when I first came up with the idea for Bloodbone, Donald was the number one guy. That I just thought he'd be perfect to bring it to life.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, it really does work. So again, here's another one. Now let's go. Guys, make sure you're coming over here and backing this. It's only $15 for this book. The $25 one, go down a little bit. Go down just a little bit. So there's 8 backers right now, $303. Right here, stop there. Nope, go back up. Go back up.
Going with the lines. The
Go
cables.
back up. Right there. $20 for the foil ash can.
Yep.
There's how many
For
left?
Sprinting.
Yeah,
Can you go
I
down
think
and
I
see how
put
many
up
left?
six of them up.
Scroll down just a little bit, but I want to see the bottom of
Look at
the
that.
card. That looks great. This is hollow foil. How many are left? The card should say. Scroll down just a little bit.
Just a smidge.
Scroll down and give me just a
3 left
right
of
there.
6.
3 left of
well.
6. Only 3 people can get this.
Yep.
There is a PDF. Wait, is there a physical? Do you get the PDF with the physical, or do you have to get the PDF separate?
You have to get it separate.
Okay. Yeah, someone was asking, is there a PDF physical combo tier? But here's what you can do. You can add the PDF. You can add the physical to the shopping cart.
Mm-hmm.
It's a la carte, guys. I.e. shopping cart, a la carte, right?
And
You put what you want in there and you make your own reward.
and that
make your
digital
own reward
copy is a great way to sort of give the all that money towards the creator, because there's no production costs there other than
None, yeah.
I look at it as shipping.
Mhm.
Helps with shipping funds.
Helps them buy a
Yeah.
coffee. Fuel the madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still cheap enough to do both. So yeah, just add. You can literally just add the physical and the digital there. I backed this recently, and I wanted the traditional cover, the new cover, and I wanted the hollow foil. So I just got both. I just added it to the cart and checked it out, and the shipping was still reasonable for both, so it wasn't a big deal. And Edwin doesn't gouge anyone. I think those are very reasonable prices for the book for what you're getting here.
Also, anybody who isn't familiar with my past, I do have 3 fulfilled campaigns, and like I said, Raid is about halfway. So
Yeah.
we're
I have some
next
original
month
art
or two
coming
we'll
from
get
Raid.
to. That'll be the last thing that ships because I got to figure out how to pack all those.
I understand that.
So,
yeah.
it'll be
Yeah.
fun,
I'm excited,
yeah.
but I'm excited about that. I love getting original art. That's kind of this new thing I'm collecting, is the original art stuff. It's weird. I never used to be into that, but I am into it now.
I
And
think collecting has its place. That's
Yeah.
why getting both the digital and the collector, and the
Yep.
is you can read the digital. You obviously want a comic in your hand, but you could also buy 3. You could buy 1 physical for the wall, one physical for your hand, and then you could buy a PDF just to zoom in on the big screen TV. Because everybody's got an HDMI cable nowadays.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go back to Mythicals and look at that, guys. If you back any of these, please let us know in the chat that you flipped someone the bird. Say Bird, Edwin Bird, or Hojo Bird. Tell me to flip that bird, and we'll do that. Randy's busy over there with the. So, what is the value of your book, Hojo?
Well, you said yours is a found family, and I guess mine is like a forced family. But Nancy finds a family because she's in here. She gets brought into this team of monsters and stuff.
Jabronis.
And they can't go anywhere else. They got no place else to go.
1 second, Hojo. Jabronis is my new favorite thing to call people. I love it. You jabronis. I love that. So they've got nowhere else to go. Like this is it. Like they've.
Yeah, this is it. Like
that kind of reminds me of kind of Hellboy.
Yeah, and it's like a military unit. And it is kind of like a family. They feud with each other. They make fun of each other. But it's a military unit. So at the end of the day, if you've ever been in the military, those people that are next to you are your brothers. And there are females on the team too, but it's a bond that goes, if you've shared, that they say called sharing a foxhole. If you've been in battle with somebody, it is a bond that just can't be described.
So how much of your experience in the military actually goes in?
A little bit, just for terminology and just little things. I guess I would be the technical military advisor of the book.
All right, so the question is, since you said that there's a bond that can't be described, how do you describe that bond in this book? Do you help the reader understand that bond?
Yes, because with Nancy, she doesn't know any of these people. She's the new girl, but she's important, and she just doesn't know it yet. As the story goes, but she begins to just look at these people as more than monsters. And I know it's like a trope. It's like at the end of the day, monsters are going to show the reader what it really means to be human. These were all humans at some point in their lives, and they held on to it. And just because they don't look human,
that Diller cover is.
I know.
Wow.
They are going to show everybody, at the end of the day, this is what family, and this is what they're going to show it. Even though you look evil and you're called a monster, but they're the ones saving you and showing you how to do the right thing. Pretty good.
Flip the bird. Bloodbone just got back.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome. That is amazing.
Speaking about Edwin, there you get another show tonight, don't you? At the Man Cave.
Yeah, I'm actually doing 2 streams later today. I'm doing Belmont, and then I'm doing Bancroft later.
Wow, busy day for you.
Oh yeah.
I think by the time the day is over, you may have your funding goal met.
Oh, that'd be great. Like I said,
you're a little bit closer now. You're at $350, so you're 35% funded. Needing 1,000, 9 backers. I would like to see one more backer get on there. And how many backers does Hojo have?
80,
I'm checking right now.
81 or 82.
83.
I would like to see 85 backers.
So
I'd like to see 3 more people back today. I like the way that you have your campaign set up, Hojo.
Thanks,
You're letting people know, hey, these are add-ons. Throw these in your shopping cart if you want.
Yep.
What's really going to help you is next month when we have the sort order installed.
Mm-hmm.
We have that,
yes.
so that you can sort the order. Yeah, that's going to be a big one. I think, and there's a lot of game changers that we're adding to the mix here over here at Fund My Comic. I think that's going to be one of them. I think when we can finally get weight-based shipping done, that's going to be a massive undertaking. Yeah. But we can finally get that done. And that's going to be insanely amazing for all of our creators potential to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's our goal. Is the Halloween, is the Hojoween
Ended this morning, I think so. Yeah,
Ended
I went
this
and looked
morning.
at it. It was whited out, and that did pretty good.
Yeah, it didn't do too bad. Yeah, it didn't do too bad at all. Yeah, there it is. It's over, man. That's over.
Yep.
Missed out on that $12. You got 2 books and a sticker. That's insane. So you mentioned pardon me. So you had mentioned that there were some course corrections from first campaign to second campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about some of those.
Just basically overhead. You take I do what it's called an AAR, an after action review, or some people want to call it an autopsy. I looked at the campaign from start to finish, looked at the numbers and what sold, what didn't, what maybe price points were a little too much, or just people just weren't interested. You shouldn't probably create merchandise unless you're established, but I had the cool beer koozie and it seemed to catch on a little bit there at the end because people started to know who I was, and now they look at the beer koozie like, oh, that's hilarious, that's awesome.
Yeah, because it's on brand for you with the beer,
beer yeah. And then just as far as finding maybe better printing or a better place to maybe talking with a guy who actually makes his own Geminis instead of going through Gemini. It's the same thing. It's just a little bit cheaper. It's the same die. I mean, he's a printing engineer, manufacturer, something cool. So constantly looking to upgrade in talent too, if the opportunity presents itself. But like I said, the box on this one, I'm doing a box, but it's just a little bit smaller. It's more compact, and it's cheaper on me a little bit. And making connections, Adam Miller he's doing a card of Nancy Moon.
I like this box. So where do you get these boxes done at?
It's a place called Packola.
Packola or Packola?
Yeah, Packola, rock and roller. Yeah.
Sound like you said Packola.
No. That's a different website.
Man, everyone's gay once in a while.
Packayahola. So. And then concentrated and streamline them. What do people want? I'm not going to I did a lot of stretch goals, and that ate into the overhead because I just wanted to keep giving people more stuff.
Stretch goals are a killer, man.
And so now, and I saw the cards really did well, and Eric Hodson, shout out to him, did another. I brought him back for series 2.
All right. So what are some of the stretch goals that you found worked in budget better than others?
The prints are good. Yeah, it was just more overhead. I guess the quality of the paper on the print, you have to take that into account. Mm-hmm. I just did too many at too short of intervals.
Yeah. So what were they on the first campaign?
It's just a bunch of prints, but I did want it and then trading cards for everybody.
Yeah, but what was the intervals? I
think I did one at 5, 7, and 9 maybe, or 10. I don't remember.
So they were $2,000 apart.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem bad, right?
No, but then when you have to make hundreds of them,
yeah,
and send them out multiple copies. But luckily with those, the prints, I don't have to do a minimum order. He's they're just a flat rate, and that's how much you need, unless you're going to do a huge order. So, but people want the art. This is a visual medium. People want art. They want things that they can see and touch.
Here's a question, and I've been asking people individually, and maybe our chat can let us know what they think. Would you rather see the art as separate prints, or would you like to see it in the book, at the end, an art gallery?
Mm-hmm. And I did both. I did a fan art competition. I put that in the back of the book, and I think that, and not only does it help me beef up the book a little bit and give people a little extra at the end and see different artists' interpretations. It's also good for to discover an artist or something that you didn't know. Because on every page, I made sure the artist was credited. Here's their info. Here where you go find them. Maybe you're gonna find somebody that maybe you want to work with in the future. So I liked doing that.
Cool. But yeah, I think those are nice. Now, for someone out there that doesn't know how to get fan art, people like to do fan art. How did you manage to get, for a first-time creator, a new book, a new IP? What did you do to manage to get people to do fan art for you?
I just wasn't a dick. I was just I was like, hey man,
that's a novel idea.
I was like, hey dude, I got this property, check out this cover. The Dan Dog cover normally got a lot of people like, oh, that looks cool. Then they see the Peter Gilmore cover, like, I want to draw that.
Yeah.
And so like when I went on drawing, everybody drew the Inquisitor. Everybody drew the bad guy. They didn't care about Nancy Moon.
Hojo's advice: don't be mean.
Don't be mean. We don't have to be mean, because remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
There you are. So I just asked them. That's all I did. What are you gonna? Were they gonna say no or how much? That's what I got. Like how much? I'm like, nothing. This isn't an exposure thing. I'm just trying to see if you want to let people know that you drew this, or if you want to if you got some spare time, go ahead. But it was, it was a lot of people that were, it's not like Dale Keown is in the back of my fan art section. Like Preston Acevedo didn't call me. He's like, hey, let me do Nancy Moon for you for free. Like, I'm not Bancroft. I can't give people $500 to win. I just said, hey, this look cool. Is this something you'd be interested in? And I got.
So you actually went and asked people to fan art it
at first, and then the second one, like when I actually had the official contest, they're like, hey, I like your character. Do you mind if I draw it? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course.
And so I'll probably do it again on this one. But, and this time, I guess the winner, I'll give you a book or something. I can afford that. But, like, I can't. This is, sorry. But it's fun to do all this. But the fact that somebody, and you mentioned Mike Barron, I wouldn't even be here if it weren't for him. I didn't know he was actually going to answer. Like, one time I DM'd him. I was like, I loved your work on Punisher. I didn't know this was you until I saw you on Fox News. And he's like, oh yeah. I was like, I'm thinking about doing a book. I said, if you have some time, do you think you could read a script? I didn't think he was gonna say yes.
Right.
Like I said,
Mike Barron is so accessible. I can't believe it.
He's like, yeah, you got something. It's a little thin, and that's all he said. And I didn't really know how to interpret that because I didn't want to be like, well, what do you mean? Well, I found out what he meant, but but it's crazy that like he was just like, yeah, you got something, and that's all the confidence I needed was to just be like, well, if Mike Barron says, I got something, I'll just work hard and try to get this thing polished as much as I can, and it seemed to work out. Like people responded to it, like it's something different. Like people say, oh, it's cape shit. It is, but it isn't. Like, what is the value to this? Like, you are going to learn something because, I'm minored in history. I love that stuff. I love Indiana Jones. They only made 3 movies of it. And so I am going to inject that into here. Like, once we get the ball rolling after these first 2 issues, we're going to actually start, doing the cases. Like, we're going to go find these artifacts, and they're all over the world. And you're going to learn history, mythology, all of it wrapped into one little entertaining tale. And you're going to feel for these characters because they all have something to do with it. And I didn't know everybody had a werewolf, for Christ's sake. but mine's different. Mine has gauntlets with spikes, and he's blonde.
That's what I love doing. Chrome Dog, which, by the way, you guys, Chrome Dog is still alive. You need to jump on that. I need to go over there and back that book because we're going to be fulfilling that very, very soon. It is a metal werewolf.
Yeah, there you go. Mine's blonde. So, but like I said, at the end of the day, all I can tell people is like, here's my story. If you don't like it, that's fine. But I'll go find 2 people who will, and who do. Like, I'm in comic shops. They bought retail copies. As a matter of fact, we're talking about Scout. I made sure that I put mine on top of the Scout one, so people have to look at that before they look down to Scout.
There you go. That's what you. There's Chrome Dog. 108 backers so far. Raised $4,000. Started out on the pink site, moved over here. There's one of the new pages. I'm getting darker in my art, guys. I don't know what's happening. I'm doing a lot of these hard black things that, like, you know, the contrast stuff. I'm just getting into it. Like, I'm having fun with it. I think I've been working on a lot of the pages for Terminal Kill, and the samples that he first gave me that he wanted to kind of lean into was old Daredevil stuff that was really hard contrast.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that. And so I've kind of started doing that a little bit. And I definitely curse myself, though, drawing Chrome Dog every panel. Like, why did I do that to myself? Chrome Dog, I think when you have a cool character, people want to fan art it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Edwin, have you had a lot of fan art done?
Yeah, actually, Bloodbone has gotten the most fan art from anything I've ever done.
That's a
course.
Even when I had just like a cover reveal only, people were already doing fan art. It totally caught me off guard, but it was awesome.
Yeah, people want to draw and warm up to stuff that's cool, right? So I think cool characters. So I think that's another part of your marketing thing. I see a lot of people get very upset and they get disheartened with everyone thinks that what they have is the coolest.
Don't they, though?
Yeah, they do. But you know that you know what you have is cool when people start fan arting it. That's how I know we were onto something with Chrome Dog, because people wanted to draw him. That's how, I've had a lot of, as simple as the design is, Trash Man fan art. People just like the lightning stuff coming off of him. And who doesn't like drawing just a muscled out, roided out looking dude? It's fun, right? It's fun. People like, that's why who knows really what Cyberfrog is about? We know he likes chicken, but a lot of people fan art it because it's a really cool character to draw. Right?
Yeah, you can go crazy with like the dynamics and the proportionality of stuff. That's what artists they love that stuff.
When we're talking about these visual mediums, part of that pitch is having really cool art on your page, having stuff that people can see and get into and enjoy. People seem to like this art on this book. I'd be honest with you, your first 10 pages were done so long ago that I've improved a lot. So the last of the book's going to be, a lot better looking than the first of the book. But I guess that kind of happens. I try to keep the style very similar, though, as best I can.
Most times those are the coolest books, are the ones that you see the evolution of the artist as you go along.
Yeah.
So, yeah. A lot of fun.
Mm.
And having a great color doesn't hurt either.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't hurt. Yeah. Putting Patrick on a project is always a good idea, in my opinion. I think that's just smart. And, people will forget about the visual aspect of it, or they think that what they have is awesome. And when they put it up there, the crowd doesn't respond.
Yeah.
And people seem to get upset rather than wanting to take the feedback that maybe the art that you're presenting isn't the best. Maybe it's not as A+ as you think it is.
It's hard. It's hard to do. If it was easy to do, everybody would be doing it. There would be no quote unquote just backers and chat. Everybody would be a creator.
Everybody would. Yeah. It is difficult, but it's also hard to self-assess, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We think about that self-assessment process.
Some people don't have mirrors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why you need a good editor.
So you upgraded your artist, Hojo. You haven't talked about that much.
No.
And I know why. Because you don't want, you're not trying to make anyone feel bad.
No, and it's nothing. Look, it's nothing against Thomas. Like we still talk from time to time. and he handled it like a professional. You know, I just
Yeah.
it something fell into my lap where I could work with someone, and I was like, okay, well, they were available, and like I said, I
We're
don't
gonna
want
talk
to get
about this
into
comment in a minute.
behind
Yeah,
the scenes,
right.
but you know, like
But sometimes you have to make a tough decision.
yeah,
Like I've worked with colorists. I'm like, you're just not ready for this yet. You're not ready for the
Right.
level of production that I need. You're not ready for the time commitment that I need from you. Or
Right.
there's something where you're just falling short on a couple of things. You're
and
missing
like
some
I don't
things.
do anything art wise. So when in the production and the assembly line process of this, when one machine breaks down or it's not working as efficient, it slows down the other machines and it slows down the output and it slows and operators of certain machines start looking at each other and going and then they guess what, the buck stops here. I'm responsible. I'm the project manager.
Yeah.
They come and talk to me and I have to make either a hard decision or an easy decision, and sometimes it's both at the same time.
Well, if you have a penciler and an inker and a colorist and a letterer, you have to make sure all four of those guys are working well together. And if there's one chink somewhere, it's going to wind up being very, very difficult.
Yeah.
That's why, people will hire my studio to produce their books for them. Like that's what we're doing with Terminal Kill. It's Luke Stone Studios is the studio, right. And I sub it out to everybody. Same way with two other books that I'm doing. Well, one other book that I'm doing. I work with the colorist. I make sure that they are producing the work right, making sure that when I show it to the client, they're going to be happy. So I deal with a lot before I even show the work to the client. But again, these are people that I've worked with and I've got some experience with.
Yep.
And it can be difficult, and I'm not always the artist on the book.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice if I am. I mean, there's been times when, we've had a colorist that just didn't work for a project. They just didn't get it. And I'm still working with that colorist on other stuff, but they just didn't get it. It was on Chrome Dog. They just didn't get it. Like it was one of those things. It's like, no, this is an alien planet that Chrome Dog is on, right? Mm-hmm. So there's two suns and one's pink and one's blue.
Oh,
right?
What a nightmare.
Right. So yeah. So for coloring, everything's soft.
Yeah.
You don't have the warm oranges and yellows to work with.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And if you don't understand how to do proper highlighting, you're going to have to break some laws of physics and light rules in order to make the page look good. And not understanding that, like what rules you need to follow and what rules you need to break.
It's not a normal light sources as well. It's not like the suns are right next to each other.
No.
They're probably
on the opposite sides of the
or
sky.
something.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have your. Yeah, I get it. It's hard.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's two moons.
2 moons. Okay.
There's a blue one and a red one, and then there's one sun, but the sun is purple, right, or like blue or whatever. So it's a blue light. But still, so like there's that day shots aren't going to look the same. Like, hey, we want this in the morning. It's like, why did you make everything orange? There's no, like, well, it's a morning shot, right? Well, yeah, but the sun's blue. I mean, you've got to use, so you have to choose colors to add the contrast that you need to warm it up. And Patrick was the only one that got it.
Mm-hmm.
We actually worked with one colorist. We had him in several times, and we had to, he was blaming everything else. I mean, he was going after my art. He was like, there was a problem here or there. I will do loose detail in the backgrounds, but I won't draw a face.
Yeah.
It's like a person in the background. I'll do the dots, eyes, and whatever. I'm not Pat Broderick out there drawing complete details deep in the background. I draw the background, and then the colorist just zoom. The colorist I use know what to do.
Right.
And we're working with this guy, and he just didn't get it. Like, he wanted to go after that. Like, well, rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, you don't know how to make contrast. Like, the basic things a colorist should do, you're not doing right. So we had to let him go. Yeah. And he didn't take it well. Some people don't take it well. But you still have to make the decision, because there's going to be people that are giving you money for this thing.
Yeah.
Right?
And then I did want to say, with the new guy, like, because he was recommended by the inker, they'd worked together on like a bunch of private commissions and stuff like that. So, and plus they're both from Brazil, and the colorist is from Brazil. So am I letters from Canada. So we got all of the Americas just right there.
Just in a straight line right there.
Yeah.
Draw a line through all of
So
them.
I was like, it was a tough thing because I don't want to say, hey, new guy, draw like the old guy. Don't draw like you, because I want continuity. We had to come up with a happy medium and work on a lot of different things. And even from book 1 to book 2, you're going to, like, it doesn't even look like the same colorist, but it is. And so we came up with a like a little palette and a style of, like, it's almost like Otley does with Invincible.
Yeah.
Like a little streamlined. It's not so much. It still looks like it could be an Image book, but it's more. I don't want to say refined, but it's cleaner.
Well, I think we all grow as we you're going to get better as a writer.
Yeah.
You're going to get better with production. The artists are going to get better. The colorists. Everybody's going to improve the more pages you do.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how bad I was until we are finally getting this team up book done. I wrote the script 5 years ago. I drew the first 2 pages 5 years ago. I mean, it's been a long time that this book has been in the making. And then Joe took over the rest of the art on that. And there's a bit of continuity in there. Like, here's what I think's neat with an artist. You can try to copy it for the first few pages and then mold it and then slowly move into your style. I think is a smart thing to do. That way there's that ease, that flow. Just like when an artist naturally gets better. That way it just looks like it's naturally improving, right?
Right.
And there's a possibility of doing that. But by the time you're really kicking in with that book, you want to draw in a style that is yours.
Mm-hmm.
And some people like Dillard has like 2 different styles that he can draw.
Like,
3.
I was gonna say like 3 or 4. Yeah.
He has 3 that he can draw in very comfortably. And Rift Riders is one of those. Canadian Tussle is one of those.
Yeah.
And then what's the other one that he does? Buckler. No, not Buckler. It's the other one. That's very detailed, high detailed stuff. So he can draw in these different styles very comfortably.
And fast.
Some artists, and fast. Some people are like that. Some people aren't. But you don't want to waste time because time is of the essence a lot, in this. And it's the one thing that we all have the same amount of and don't use as well. This whole idea of time management.
The only real currency you have is time.
I believe that. I do believe that. Let's talk about this comment a little bit. Sometimes it's just a lack of reach for marketing. What are your thoughts on that? I'm going to start with Edwin. What are your thoughts on lack of reach?
It's definitely an issue, depending, as far as promotion goes.
How do you overcome it?
You just have to keep pushing. If you're lacking in a specific area, you're not getting enough, let's say, showcases on. How about you actually reach out to people, make some connections? To me, if you're in the sphere, I've reached out to you or you reached out to me, or I'm trying to get to know everybody and everybody that I can.
Yeah. You came to me and said, Luke, can I get on our bacon?
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, we lost him again. He came to me and so did you, Hojo.
Wasn't me.
Can I get on our bacon?
Yeah, I would just love to come on when I'm not shilling a book. I would like to just
right.
talk.
Yeah.
Come back, Edwin. Come back.
I mean, like Edwin, I retweet his stuff all the time. He retweets my stuff all the time, and like that helps engagement. And as far as lack of reach, bro, I don't have any reach. Like people look at my totals and what I make. My weekend sales. Like I was talking to Michael Oden on the phone probably a couple weeks ago, right? And he's like, well, payday's coming up. You should be able to crack that. I was like, dude, on the weekends, I probably average maybe 3 or 4 backers. And he was like, what did you say? I was like, yeah, I don't do it because I have a family. Like on the weekends, that's my family time. Like my wife's looking at me. She's like, on your phone. I'm like, trying to make money. Shut your face.
I'm working on it, Sharon.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. I can't be on a stream every Friday night at 8 or 9 o'clock. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Saturdays either. I can't go out at 11 p.m. and stay up till 3 because I'm old.
My fiance constantly bothers me about streaming too much.
Like I get up at 4 a.m. every day and go to work, and I'm exhausted on Fridays. But guess what? During the week, I hustle my ass off. I'm the day shift guy. I get in there like 6 a.m. and I start chilling. And I get talking to overseas folks, and what's he saying? They're just not seeing it. Yeah, they're the people that are going to buy stuff from those artists, unless they're super stans of that artist, aren't going to buy that cover just because it's them. They're going to buy their book, their property, because it is them. That's just what it is. You can't really depend on, like, you know, somebody doing a cover for you to sell the book for you, unless you're smart about it. Like, for instance, I got Peter Gilmore because he was hot doing horror art with Mandy. That helped. I got Dan Dahl because he was recently I didn't really get him because of what they were doing, because they're awesome artists and they're, you know, their page rates were fine.
But they're also working in a moment, you know, they're working on something.
And they could capture what I wanted.
Right.
So you angle that and you use that as a promotion. And then on this one, I got Dillard to do one just because I saw him do this Donatello, like black and white, and he sold it on an auction. I was like, Dillard, I didn't know you could do stuff like. He's like, oh yeah, yeah. And I said, so what about doing a cover? He's like, oh, absolutely. He said, I'm kind of busy right now doing Yellow Flash's book. I'm like, that's why we're talking right now. These are all marketing angles. Like you,
right. But you're not expecting Dillard to sell the book.
I'm not. No, dude, I'll tag him every now and then, and guess what? He retweets it because it's helping him as well. It's helping him get more notoriety. You know, some people might discover Dillard through me.
So
but it's less likely.
You know I love you. BA, you know I love you, but I'm gonna blast this. Okay. Reach. I don't have the reach. I feel like that's a lazy excuse. Because you can build the reach. I mean, what happened to those other people? They didn't have reach once. Yeah. They didn't have it. They built it. They developed it. They went out and they found the audience. They did stuff that made people want to follow them. They produced value in people's lives. So they wanted to be. People came and flocked around Hojo because he created value around this book. And people said, Hojo?
Who's that?
Yeah. But now they're like, okay, your second book better be good.
Yeah.
Right? Now you have to deliver. And I know people say it's reality, not lazy. It's an excuse. It's a cop-out. I have no reach. But yet, this is episode 90 of Nerd Bacon. And some people out there just found this show recently.
I like to say we're literally in the Wild West as far as alternative and independent comics goes right now. You've been around as long as I have. You see that now is the time. There's so many folks out there that are actually making profit, and you have to be creative. We're in the most creative market that you can possibly be. So you're going to have to apply that in every aspect of what not just your comic, but also in your marketing. And you're saying there's not a reach. Limits your thinking. Literally does.
Yep.
You have to go out there and find that reach because it's there. I mean, we're seeing it's there all the time. Eric July has proven there's a limitless amount of money available out there for this industry. You just have to find a way to channel it to you.
It reminds me
have to do.
It reminds me of the pioneer days.
Exactly right.
It's a Wild West. You have to tame it. You have to go out there. You've got to find it. You have to be hungry.
You have to go out and blaze those trails. And some of them are going to be unique and some of them are going to fail. Most of them might fail, but you're going to find that one or two. That's why you have to pay attention to what's going on in the market. Not just what the guys on your political affiliation are doing, more like the guys that are making money. You have to go out there and look and see what they're doing. And if you can apply that to you, where there's a will, there's a way. That's why you got that old cliche.
And you know,
it's got to be out there. And this from a guy who only pulled down 600 in his last campaign because I didn't bother to go out and find that reach.
Yeah,
and you can't be timid either. You got to knock on doors.
You do.
Like, you got to be like, "Hey, I'm here. Pay attention to me. See what's going on."
Yeah.
And some people won't.
Yeah.
They won't open the door. They'll be like, "No, who the hell are you? You don't have anybody. You have like 5 followers. I don't care about you." But somebody will. And that's how I found Renzo to do my stuff. I knocked on a whole bunch of doors and get a bunch of people were like didn't pay attention to me. Eventually I found Renzo to do my stuff.
You never know where your money's going to come from or when. All of this stuff that you're doing, every podcast you do is you're dropping seeds. And sometimes you get fruit, sometimes you get nothing.
Now, this is an accurate statement.
You got to go out there and be out there.
It takes time to get reach.
Yep.
Yes, at the beginning you're not going to have it, but you have to grind for it. Mm-hmm. You have to say, look, I don't think there's a boogeyman out there trying to keep us from being seen. I really don't. We have to understand how to use the algorithms and how that stuff plays in our favor. Everyone's just trying to make money at the end. They're all trying to figure out how to get people's attention. It's an economy of attention, really. How do you get people's attention? And you've got to find a way to do that. I gave out my comic book for Halloween. I had one kid come back. He says, if I like this, where do I get issue 2? I said, you go to aerocomics.store. He goes, I said, look, it's an Aero Comics book. Go to .store and you go get there so you can buy it. .store.
And never be afraid to pivot if something's not working.
Yeah. Yeah. Pivot. Yeah. Look, you're not a giant corporation. At this level, we can try anything. We can, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we move on. We try something different. And, I don't have reach.
Yeah, me neither.
But it's not stopping me.
I think Pixel Trader sort of indirectly brought up a great point there too. Once you're published, a lot of doors will open for you as well.
Well,
like
true.
Once you actually have something to show, like you can be the greatest marketer in the world, but if you don't have a product to actually deliver, then what do you got?
I have a bookmark, but Billy Tucci put out something. It's almost like Diamond, like they want your independent comics. It's like a listing. I can't get it right now, but the avenues are out there. Like you just have to be able to find them. Like it's like a speakeasy, man. Nobody's going to tell you how to get there. You got to find it on your own. But once you find it, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every
you have to hustle, and you have to have as many different venues of income that you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to create a hype train. Maybe it's based on an artist's work. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's based on what your story is. I mean, you have to clearly be able to communicate what it is that you have and why it's valuable. And then you have to tell everybody about it. But you have to be clever. If you're just a link factory, there's it's not again, it's the Wild West. It's not easy. You're going to do a million things wrong before you do one thing right. And then you find it. You find your niche, like Hojo has, like Edwin has, and you do it. You do your thing.
Brian Polito has printed a couple of dogs and has had a couple of bad campaigns, and look at where he's at now.
I mean, I went out there and just told people, it was like, okay, everybody's doing 15-page floppies for $10 shipping. Okay, this is a supernatural book. I'm gonna do 13 and $2 off shipping, and you get a free sticker with it to boot because everybody was charging extra for the sticker. And that goes a lot with backers. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. This is $5 cheaper than everybody else, so why not? And then I fulfilled in 5 months. That, in the future, will tell everybody it's a safe bet. Once you fulfill that first book, you are a safe bet in a lot of people's eyes.
We'll talk about this for a second.
I vaguely agree with that statement.
Yeah, vaguely, a little bit.
I wouldn't say that like it's guaranteed, but it helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but you could have a really great art of a crappy character that no one cares about.
Yeah.
Again,
in the end, that's really it.
And I'm not talking about your characters, Turner, but I'm talking in general. You can have a really great artist draw your character or write your character, and if the character doesn't speak to anybody, if it's not something that they're interested in, if the design is weak, then you're going to have trouble with it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point about character design.
Yeah,
I think that's super important.
Yeah. It has to be that's why I get hired for character design all the time. Because I seem to have a knack for coming up with stuff that people want to draw. Because when I'm drawing the character, I think, well, what would I want to draw over and over and over again? What would be fun to draw? And so we just make up characters that way, you know? I've actually come up with character designs and I'm like, don't give me credit for that at all. Because I did what they wanted. I'm like, that's not interesting. No one's going to like this character. It's not going to engage anybody. And certainly it did not. It didn't engage anybody. And the campaign didn't do well. You know, because part of their character design was, it was flawed. It wasn't, you didn't allow, you know, so that's why I always like find a guy that draws characters that you like and let them be imaginative and then develop your story around those characters. So I'm working on this one. It's about a pawn shop and there is a sorcerer in it. And I had gotten the prompt for the sorcerer and I was like, well, I'm just going to go nuts on this design. And so it's really kind of funny in most places, but I made the sorcerer look like really badass. And the guy was like, that is not at all what I had in mind. And I go, I'm sorry, do I need to redo it? He goes, no, I love it. He goes, I'm going to go back and adjust my story for this design. This is awesome. And so it's going to suck drawing again, it's another Chrome dog. Like, why am I putting myself through this? There's all like little details on the costume and stuff, but it's cool looking. I mean, it's a really cool character. And so now this 10-page book is going to have these two versions of the character because I thought it'd be really fun. Like, well, what if his like not superhero persona is like this weed smoking, you know, he's kind of talked about this weed smoking guy. And I'm like, well, what if it's like such a drastic change from what his superhero persona is, where it's like super BA. And then you look at him and you're like, nah, I don't buy it. You know, I don't buy it at all. And, it worked out. And so it's a fun story to work on. You know, it's gonna be a fun book to do. And, I think the value in that, but you could have a great artist work on a not so great character. And it's, Rob Liefeld can draw your cover.
I was about to say Youngblood, like that's how I pitched my book. Everybody loved Youngblood 1. Everything looked cool. Like, but do you remember Youngblood 2? I don't even know what the cover looks like.
No.
Because at the end, when I read it at the end of it, I'm like, I mean, it looks okay, but they're all pretty much the same and they're all like one-dimensional characters. Like, my book is the opposite of that. You're going to read issue 1. By the end of it, you're like, oh my God, I need issue 2 like right now. I literally got a DM when I emailed it, or when I sent a book out from a backer that said, OMG, I need issue 2 like right effing now. And that's the best thing you can ever hear as a creator.
Yeah, when people are asking for more, that's really what you want. So I think if you have great art on your book, and I know you mentioned, let me read that one about Joe Ball. Joe Ball is the perfect example. Minimal reach initially, but over time the reaction blew up and his reach grew. Exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm. You have to create that, but it's a constant grind. Like, so I was saying we're on episode 90 of Nerd Bacon. People are just now finding us. We're actually just now finding our stride. We started this out. Nick Talker was my co-host. And the show had a completely different vibe. It's completely different than what it is now. Nick left, and then we had to figure out what the new vibe was, right? Like, what's the new thing? We had a few rough weeks because we couldn't figure it out. And then we started doing the news and then highlighting creators and kind of talking about what it's like to be in the industry and how we do those things. And I understand that our audience here is very specific. It's creators. It's people that are doing this, or people that are interested in doing this. It's not a lot of just random people that come in here and watch the show, right? So this show does what it does. My live draws reaches a completely different audience. And when I'm finding just normies to read my book, it's actually not done on YouTube unless I'm going to someone else's show. It's really funny. that my normie reach is just going around to conventions. I cannot stress enough how important it is to take a QR code to your local comic book shop or something when you're running a campaign and let people know about it.
I do flyers. You got to do, man. You got to do flyers.
You got to do flyers. You got to let people know that you've got a campaign that's live, and you've got to let real people know. Yeah, it's great getting on these shows, but like right now, I mean, we get about 150 views on.
All right, my question for BA. BA, do you know anybody that's in a rock band or any kind of band who's been doing it more than 2-3 years? Go ask them how they promote.
Yeah.
And do that.
You'd be surprised how close indie comics is to indie music.
And
it's the same marketing.
And BA, your book, I know you have a novel too, but the comic part of it
is awesome.
Dude, market that to like the heavy metal crowd.
It looks great. It looks great.
Go to tattoo parlors.
But I will tell you one thing that I don't see. I don't see a lot of posts from you, BA. I don't.
I do.
I don't see you on a lot of shows either.
I think
he's got his own show.
Find you around. He's got his own show. Yeah. Friday nights. Yeah, Friday nights.
I think
as you're learning, it's hard as hell to generate an audience for your show.
But BA, I think I get your point, but I think you're solving your own problem. Like the question you said, reach is the problem.
Yes.
And what you just explained with Joe is the roadmap. Like you can't speed up time, man. You can't say, "Oh, I want to be famous." I'm not gonna say famous, but like I want to be successful now.
Yeah,
it doesn't work that way unless you're coming up with the Ninja Turtles.
Yes, Bilbo. We had a Spike.
That's the only white hot property I've ever seen that's just like.
Well, and even then, really Turtles plateaued. They've had their ups and downs.
Right. But I'm talking about in the beginning, right before they got the cartoon deal and all that, like in the toys. Like, I didn't even know about it until right before the toys came out, and it wasn't anything like the cartoon once it came out. I'm like. Well, this is like what we're watching. This is for kids because I was probably like 8-9 years old. They were the underground, the black and white comic, like the Ash Cam they did, where it was not.
Yeah, not at all.
Here's where they were successful. They understood that they needed to find somebody that could license their stuff out.
Yeah.
And so they they worked with someone who had nothing, and they were hungry. This was the only thing they had. Another indie guy that was just starving and went out there and hustled their butts off to sell Ninja Turtles as a toy, as a cartoon. And then it blew up when little kids found this. I was a big Turtles nut. I didn't know about the Ninja Turtles. I didn't even know about the cartoon. I went over to my aunt's house, and one of her other grandkids was there, and he had Ninja Turtle toys. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And he told me about it, right? So I went and I found the cartoon on Saturday morning. I watched the cartoon. When we went to the store, I asked Mom if I can go back and look at the turtle toys, looked at how cool the toys were, wanted all of them. And it became a massive thing in my life. I'm a little kid, right? I go to the comic book store for the first time, 12 years old. I'd been loving turtles. I'm starting to grow out of turtles though, right? Because I'm a little older now and I don't really want to collect toys when I'm 13, 14. You know, like that. You know, I'm not watching the cartoons anymore. Go to the comic shop, I find Ninja Turtles. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't look anything like the cartoon. And I read it. I'm like, this is not for the kids anymore. This is like for me. And I'm like, actually, I thought it was for someone a little older than me. But that's what made it even cooler for me, is that this is not a kid's comic book, but it's accessible to me. And they nailed it.
Last Ronin is even darker still.
Yes.
Yeah, I have it, and I haven't even cracked it open.
They're developing. They're growing with they're hitting a whole different, darker audience, more adult. The ones that were reading comics in the 80s and 90s that loved the black and white books are the ones that are buying that last Ronin book. Not the kids that like the bouncy cartoon. Not so much. I mean, there are still an audience out there for it, but they're catching the audience as they're getting older. The big thing is, especially in the comic markets, is don't dismiss anything as a phenomenon, because you look back at those old great X-Men and you just dismiss it as a phenomenon. Right place, right time. Turtles, you can do the same thing, but there's a reason why they made the money that they made, and you need to look at that and figure it out for yourself, why they did it and how you can apply that to your what you're doing. There's a reason Cyberfrog's not just a phenomenon. Isom's not just a phenomenon. Lady Death is not just a phenomenon. They're hitting, they're marketing, they're making livings, and you need to figure out how you can apply that to your stuff.
I want to see how the next Isom does. I want to see how Alpha Core does.
I was really curious to see how number 2 was going to pull out. But I think, again, if you look at what he's doing steps upward.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, it looks like he's got a good direction. So.
The reviews for issue 2 of Isom are not good.
Well, there's a lot of reviews for 1 weren't good either. I'm surprised he pulled down the money he did. That there's a reason for that, and we need to figure out what that is so that you can apply.
Let's find it. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
You're talking about the last.
That's a great point.
Can I interject here before we get? Because I had something to say a little while ago that I thought was important. When you are marketing your stuff and you are getting out there and doing, don't be afraid to cross genres either. Because like I started out in miniatures and tabletop board games, and that was my entire. Now I'm doing in comics, and before I got into comics, I just made as many friends as I could. But there are a ridiculous amount of people in the miniatures market that I know now that also like comics, so I can direct all my people that I talk to and all my fans from that, and people that want my products and that stuff, and I can direct them towards the comic stuff I'm working. So it does help to get into different things. Like you can get maybe your comics about horror. There's a bunch of horror movie enthusiasts out there, right?
She's not. She's a good girl. Okay.
Horror, I guess.
So
anyway.
horror.
But
now let's all pick on whiskey the way he says horror.
Yeah. Well, I'm Canadian.
Sorry. It's all right.
The easiest thing, or it's not the easiest thing to do, but get out there and cross genres and make friends in different circles that maybe aren't into comics, and you'd be surprised what
people
how many
could
people
be into comics.
Yeah.
In fact, BA's remark about Isom, his core audience isn't from comics. He went out there and made his own, and yeah, you can be mad that he was on Blaze and Fox and all of that, but it's an example of other avenues you can apply that, maybe not to Fox and Blaze, but somewhere else, and build an audience. He was also a big working in the music career. I didn't know who he was until Isom 1 come up.
Yeah, same here.
Joe and I are doing this team up book, right?
And I read the book. I wasn't that enthused about it, but I ordered 2.
So what's that? What's the IP?
To see how it goes. I'm shocked that he got as much as he got off of 2, but he's got a base. That's what it is.
There's an IP out there, Kill Them All Dead, and it's like metal music plus comics.
There you go. There's been a lot of metal and because a lot of the adult comics are heavy metal, despite the people that own heavy metal now have no concept about what they have. No. That's a great market to tap into right now because there's a hungry market out for it. BA, I looked at your campaign. That's the market for you. I mean, your line work, your line art on that is phenomenal, just beautiful. The idea
find out what
is solid.
The underground metal
it's
people
just a matter of being seen. Yeah. Pardon?
Find out what the people that are really into
get in the horror Discord,
into Lovecraftian stuff.
Yep. Go to it's an app called Slasher.
That's a great idea, though.
Dude, when it comes to horror marketing, why do you think most of my audience is like CG or what like that? No, man. At least 40% of my audience are horror folks that are just like, they saw that Gilmore cover, boom, done. That's all they needed to see. And you were talking about Last Ronin. Those people are the fans of the old book. Like, they would be our fans. Yeah. What are the odds of the percentage of those people are even aware that this indie movement over here even freaking exists? Slim to none.
Yep.
Go for you.
So
exactly.
So what do you do? What do you go to like IDW or be like, hey, can we put an ad for our comic in here? They're gonna be like, no, you're not with us. They're like, so how do you find those people?
Right
you
now,
go to
IDW
the comic
might
shop.
actually take your money. You should ask. So yeah.
I was in a.
Don't assume anything.
I was in
really.
Discord the other day, just talking to some people about Find My Comic, and nobody had any idea that comics were having a slight revival or a revival of any kind, where indies were picking up. They had no clue, but now they do, and now they're like they're probably clicking on Find My Comic and checking it out.
Art form is getting more and more nichier as you go along. It's just a matter of expanding. Like,
it takes a
street team realizes he needs that reach. Go out and break out from the box that you're in now. Think outside of that and stretch your reach out as far as you possibly can.
And it was a great idea. Like Hojo, you said the horror Discords or whatever. I had no idea that was a thing. Now I'm going to bother you for links.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you've got to find the, when people. I mean, and there are definitely backers that are CG only. I'm only going to back CG.
Yeah,
and that's fine. That's fine, and I appreciate them. And then, but you have to realize that this isn't always the culture war. It's not always about the culture war. It's comic books, and it's about storytelling. You have to find the audience for that.
As more time goes on, you're going to see people break out of that and just look for great entertainment. That's all that they're going to be interested in.
Escapism,
especially now. With everything getting outside politically as worse, and this next year is going to be even worse than what it is now, because we're heading into an election cycle. People are desperately going to be looking for stuff, and the franchises aren't making it for people.
The majority of Gen Z is sick of sexuality and the storytelling. Another thing that was really weird in that study was, before, it used to be that the hero they wanted to see was a black male. This most recent study, the majority of the people that were polled said they want to see a white male as the hero.
Well, that's
which
because
is strange.
That's because especially in the corporate world, that focus has shifted. They intentionally moved it away from there, and it's a market that people want to see.
Yeah, they want to see some reflection of real life, because they know that not every white guy is the villain.
Yeah,
and they kind of want to see
not every father is adult, like you see on the commercials. Not every woman knows how to do absolutely everything without any kind of instruction.
Yeah.
People are tired of that. They want to be entertained, but entertained logically.
They're tired of the multiverse thing. It's where it's just it's so late. All this stuff is, the tropes and the pandering is so lazy, and people just want to get away from it. And when you say, look, I'm working on something that is not that, you've got to go find those people that have left the genre. I mean, when you stick in the same circles in Twitter all the time, in the same circles on YouTube all the time, you really do limit where you're going with those things.
You're in a box that you need to get out of. Yeah.
And you're seeing more and more creators drop the CG hashtag for a number of different reasons. They're still always probably going to be in that group because they've been blackballed because of political ideology from the left, the extremists that have kind of taken over the main distribution channels.
I really
we're
think
creating our own distribution channels now.
Well, that's the whole thing. Not just distribution, but marketing channels as well. Every aspect of this business is being recreated right in front of your eyes, and it's just an amazing time to be in this art form.
You have to find a piece of it. You really do. You have to find a piece of it.
And you have to find your own piece of it. I know he rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and Luke, you know who I'm about to talk to, because we don't see eye to eye on everything. But Tyler Carpenter, he has a lot of insightful things to say, and I've learned a lot from him. But we're not in lockstep on everything, and I'm not in lockstep with anyone on anything. I'm my own person.
He says some smart things. I don't think he says a lot. I don't think everything he says is smart.
No, and sometimes he says a lot of things that people don't want to hear.
The positive thing about Tyler Carpenter that I can say is he's out there trying. He's looking at different avenues. He's talking to people. He's getting other people's opinions. What worked for you? What didn't work for you? Why didn't that work for you?
And he's been doing this for years.
That's what you got to do.
He's constantly looking at something and say, well, how does this work?
Yes. And so he's very analytic. He's been doing this for years too. He's not going anywhere. That's the other thing. There's so many people that the fans kind of want to see that you're going to stick around.
that works in a couple different directions, but that
they kind of want to know that you're going to be around, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of proving yourself over and over and over again.
Not only that, but you have to open yourself up creatively. We don't have to, I keep saying, you don't have to fit this format. You don't have to fit in that bag. You don't have to be the same size as an average backing board. The field for comics is wide open.
And I'm thinking about doing digest size for hybrids.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking about just doing a little digest size.
Archie's been around in the grocery stores for a reason, you know?
I mean, I have to reprint.
If it didn't make money, they wouldn't be there.
I'm almost out of volume 2 trades. Like I've gone through like 200 or 300 of them. So, which is really cool that I've gone through that many copies, but I need more. So I'm like, well, I'm going to have to reprint. And part of me is thinking, why don't I, when I get this new print run done, why don't I go ahead and do a digest size too? That's cheaper, that I can sell at a lower price.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I'm talking to Pixel. Continue.
Oh.
Sebastian original.
He knows he's stealing my idea.
He stole your idea. Well, we steal each other's idea all the time. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're not
he is
really stealing
arrogant.
Though. You're getting inspiration from
there are people that are arrogant.
There's a big difference.
That are out there. I think you can feel a sense of arrogance from some people.
Yeah.
Look, guys, to quote the great Stan Lee, if it's a great idea, I created it.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's a great idea, it's mine. Yeah. That's fun stuff. Guys, we are over 3 hours. We've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah. Holy crap.
So I think it is time for us to go ahead. This is a great conversation. And I mean, we could literally talk about this all day because but what's frustrating to me is that we do a lot of talk and not much work, not much actually going out there and doing that. And I see guys like Hojo and Edwin that do, which is why I wanted this to be the topic for the panel today, because you guys go out there and you just do it. You find different ways, you find different avenues to get things done. That's why we started Fund My Comic. I guarantee you in the next year, you're going to see a lot of people say, well, Luke could do it, so that means I can do it. They're going to go out there and they're going to start their crowdfunding campaigns or their crowdfunding websites. And you're going to see some failures out there and you're going to see some successes out there. But you're going to have to figure out why you're doing it and what the niche is. You know, what's the point? What's the value? What's making Fund My Comic successful is the street team. Is we've got individuals that are out there talking about what we're doing and letting people know that we've got something going on. It's the creators that say, you know, I'm going to use Fund My Comic because I get to keep more of my own money and they care about me and we're going to work through the growing pains together. That's the reason why we're successful. And as we do that, we get more reach. We have almost 4,000 users, registered users on the website.
Yep.
We have over 7,000.
And how long have you been out?
Transactions now.
How long has the site's been live? 6 months.
6 months. Yep. 6 months we've been doing it. You've got to do it.
Yeah.
You've got to, and time is of the essence. And we're getting ready to come into a season where we're going to have less time. So we're going to have to make sure that we're spending our time wisely. We haven't even been able to get into the fact that there's some shows you should go on and some you shouldn't. You know, maybe it's not your audience.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to promote my kids' book to the man cave crowd. That's not their niche, right? But I'll promote Terminal Kill to the man cave crowd because they'll like that. You know, they'll get into that, I think. So you have to know where you need to go when you're promoting a book. And especially right now, when time and money is of the essence. And we don't have enough of either one of those. We're in a recession. Biden economics has killed us, guys. Less money is being spent.
Crippling us. Yep. They haven't killed us. They're just crippling. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's less and less open income out there. Yeah.
Someone was trying to make a hot take about how the mainstream comic books aren't doing well, but indie comic books are booming. And the truth is, if indie comic books could sustain those retail stores, they would be selling them too. But they're not, because if you look at the numbers in crowdfunding, indie comic book sales are down right now from what they were last year. It's just a fact, guys, that we are in a recession and we have to work around it.
Yep.
Edwin, you figured out a way to make it work.
You gotta, there's no other option. Like I said, got a 5-year plan, and I'm dedicated to those 5 years and trying to put out as much content as I can.
Yeah,
and that's where it's going. So
right now, for me, bringing in $2,000 or $3,000 on a campaign is, in my opinion, successful. If it's enough to print the book and pay back some of the work we've put into it, because once we have extra copies, we can sell those at conventions. We can sell those to our audience. What Joe and I are doing is different. He's got an audience for his comics, and I've got an audience for mine. We're two different publishers, and we're working together so that we can cross promote to our fans because we have very similar properties. So why not put them in a book together? Yeah. And I'll sell to my fans and he'll sell to his, and we'll make it to where this is so valuable that people are going to want it. Guys, you got to work hard. You're smart. I know you guys are. BA, you have a great book. There's no reason why your book should not be pulling in more than what it is right now. Except for, dare I say it, you.
Oh.
Because we're the common denominator for all of our projects. If Bloodbone doesn't succeed, it's Edwin's fault.
Yep.
Nobody else's.
Nobody else.
Nobody else. If Arrow Comics fails, it's our fault, Randy. We were the ones that screwed it up. It's my fault. I'll take credit.
That's what Zeppelin says. It's nobody's fault but mine.
AR-13L ain't failing.
BA, you're absolutely right. That goes back to one of the things we said during the news part. Finding another way to get that out there. An audiobook would do wonders for you.
Yeah, I know tons of voice actors.
Yeah. I'm working on trying to get the money so that I can do the animation for the comic books. So I can do 10-minute episodes of each issue of Hybrids, because people will watch the animation. It's Randy's fault. I'm gonna blame Randy.
There's a Marvel. Yeah, it's always my fault, Philbo. Absolutely. There is a great Marvel marathon over on YouTube. Somebody took those old 1960s cartoons and stuck them all together into like 6 hours. And
I was just talking about those the other day.
Those old cartoons are phenomenal. And
you're talking about the one where Captain America throws his mighty shield.
Yes, those.
Oh yeah, those are the original motion comics.
Oh yep, a whole mishmash of them are up there, and they're better than the current movies. I'm telling you, a lot more fun.
Guys, check out the Mythicals.
Rustic animation's phenomenal. Yep.
Guys, check out the Mythicals. Funding right now for my comic. 41 days still to go. Raised $3,400 in 18 days.
35.
Brother, I would call this successful, and I think you're going to do a lot more than what you have done already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I still
congratulations.
Got art, I got drawn into here. We're just getting started,
Yep, that's it.
Bloodbone, 9 backers, $350.
Oh yeah, thanks guys.
88 days left to go. Needs 1,000. Guys, you can do this. Beautiful campaign. Check this out. Thank you guys.
Great stuff.
For being here today. Don't forget to check out arrowcomics.store.
Yep.
So let me go there real quick. Arrow Comics. I just want you to see it. This is actually the cheapest way.
We need to run an update on that too, because there's more product that we need to have available.
Yeah, I'm going to be putting that up hopefully
I
soon.
need to send you some more stuff too.
Yeah. So I did this featured product. We need to change the featured product now.
Yep.
But you can go to shop and look at all the stuff that we've got up here. You can buy a t-shirt. You've got Spank the Monkey PDFs for adults only, $3 each. You can buy PDFs.
$3 each.
You can buy physicals
of
these books. We got a lot up there. Yeah, I still need to get. We need to get Soltac up there, and we need to get Rift Riders up there.
Rift Riders. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of work. I've still got a lot of work.
So much stuff to do. Yep.
But yeah, so
you
you
should
can
run
get
those
physicals.
individual soul tax up there too. So
Yeah,
if somebody
well, that's
wants to
what
get a
we'll put up there.
PDF of one just to taste it, that's
Yep.
the way to go. Yep.
So yeah,
It's a great book.
aerocomics.store. Please check that out. Be sure to back these great creators. Whiskey's got something coming out. Go over there and sign up for the Starcross team up that we have available on Fund My Comic. That will only be on Fund My Comic. We're not running that anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because it only makes sense that it would be there. So thank you guys.
Go over to
Hybrids Animation.
RussLeach.com and sign up for news on the Shadow Kingdom. It's a Robert E. Howard story I adapted with the great Russ Leach doing the best artwork he's ever done. It's phenomenal stuff.
Beautiful, beautiful work.
RussLeach.com. Sign up now because we're going to be running that campaign in the first quarter of 2024, and that'll be over on fundmycomic.com.
Yep. And you guys, you got to be a guru. Like none of us are gurus, but there's a way to be one.
So this is the divine intervention. You could become a spiritual guru on your own, but you just have to tie your shoes, and you just have to know how to eat burritos backwards.
This is the divine intervention. This is the
burritos backwards is important.
Guys, remember, I'm going to give the same speech I always did. Savage Turkey agrees with me. Savage Turkey agrees that you should build up more than you tear down and leave that wood pile higher than you found it. I really, truly mean that. Try to add value. That's what this whole marketing thing is talking about, is leaving the wood pile higher. Create value in someone's lives today. Let your product create value. Yes, yeah. Let your product create value. Let your personality create value, because you guys are all winners in my book. I think you're amazing. You're not alone out there. We're here to support you. Let us know how we can help. And hopefully today's show has been educational for you. It's been inspiring to you. And hopefully it's been informational to you. So you've learned something. And by all means, please, and informal, remember, by all means.
Let's be careful.
You want to say it, Hojo?
Be careful out there.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7-Eleven on the corner of 4th and Main. 2 Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see a 211, half a dozen 459, 2 ADWs, a GTA, and several miscellaneous crimes. Homicide.